watch over our city employees, especially our police and our firemen, as they protect our city. Watch over the council and our mayor as they make decisions for our city, Lord. We just thank you for everything and praise you. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Ms. Deb. All right, 6:01 start time. All right, can I get a roll call? Ms. Brenda?
Bonnie? Here. Brad?
Here.
Jennifer?
Here.
Faith?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Paulette?
Here.
All right. I need a motion and a second to approve the,
I'll make a motion.
all right, for
I'll
the May
second.
20th. All right. I think
Okay,
I
that
got
was the
Jennifer.
tie.
But yeah, so I
Jennifer?
got Faith and then Jennifer.
Okay.
All right, and then Ms. Brenda?
Paulette?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
I just saw somebody I knew in the audience. Had to go say hi.
Oh.
All right. All right, presentations. Miss Amber? Welcome back off vacation. Some people always taking vacations. Gotta watch those people. All right. Click on the little button for me.
It's on.
That's all. We're all here to help you, Miss Amber, since you've been on vacation.
I know, for a week. It was great. Got to brag on my son and his school. He's with Cedar Grove Elementary, and they were in the top 10 for archery, along with BC, Bullitt East, and Bernheim. So they all were top 10. So that was amazing.
Out of how many
So-
teams?
Oh, I don't know.
You
There's
give me a bunch.
3,000 there.
3,000
So, yeah.
folks that were involved in this thing.
So it was amazing. So we
Lot
had a
of
great
teams.
week, ready to get back and do some events. First up, I want to call the Sobriety Sisters up here, please.
Got a check for you.
So last month, or you can stand right here. Last month, we had the Mayor's Color Walk, and the proceeds from the Color Walk went to the Sobriety Sisters. So we got to raise $1,426.06 for them.
I was gonna say, we're glad to be working with them. We appreciate what they do. Come on, let's get in this picture. Come on, come on, you get in this picture.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Get it,
Thank y'all so much.
You're very
Thank you,
welcome.
Shepherdsville. Thank you, Amber.
All right, give a hug, Jack. All right. Congratulations. Keep up the good work, okay?
Thanks
Keep up
so
the good work.
much.
We're very proud of you guys.
Thank you all.
Always good stuff. All right, Ms. Amber.
So up next, at the end of June, we have Bullitt Blast City Fair. It's June 28th and 29th. We will have Kentucky Hillbilly, Red Dirt Road. Let's see.
I put it on Facebook earlier, and I can't.
Yes. Casey and Romy, and then the Night Flyer Eagles Tribute Band. Those are the live musics. And then we have lots of food trucks, vendors, and above all, we have free rides this year. Along with that, we are having a dunk tank, and we are looking for volunteers.
Yes, we are. Oh, so you said you're gonna do it for a little bit too? Thank you. Put Brad down, write Brad down.
Okay.
Anybody points a finger at me gets on the list.
Brad will probably be on
Brad's a,
vacation.
what a trooper, Brad. I appreciate that.
So
Oh,
the
yeah, they do.
proceeds from the dunk tank this year will go towards sponsoring kids for the aquatic center. So if you want to be a volunteer and get dunked,
I do know somebody that volunteered. Lane, Chief Lane said he would help out.
So let me ask, how long does the person stay in it?
Well, so let's start with last year's. Let's
Depends
start-
on how many volunteers, correct?
yeah,
So how long, is it open both nights?
both nights, yeah, and it'll be open Friday, we open at 6, and then Saturday at 4.
So right now, it's a half a day for him and a half a day for Lane.
There you go.
And you can be a
So
volunteer too, Jennifer.
just a little, just so you know how this went last year, it was 2 hours on Friday and 2 hours, and it was 150 times going up and down at the end. We let people just push the buttons and all that stuff. But I would say this, if we would appreciate a few volunteers, okay, because it is really for a good cause. It is the start of what we're gonna do. We've got some shirts, we're gonna do some other things, to start raising money for the kids, to be able to go into the aquatic center on the outdoor pool,
We get
right?
some sexy firemen up there, we'll get a lot more.
Yeah.
Lane, at your department, go tell you guys what they gotta do. And what Bonnie said was, she was gonna be interviewing. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. So, but listen,
Don't
anybody
leave
with,
the
hey,
police out now, Bonnie.
Yeah.
we're not against Amber, maybe even Courtney. I mean, everybody can be involved in spending, even if it's just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we'd love to have you up there. We'll throw some, balls at the dunk
I'll
tank.
give you an answer tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get some people, but it's a great cause, and we want to make sure that we start getting people to understand that we're really trying to work with our community and allowing some of these kids that would not have the opportunity to go to the aquatic center to get a chance to enjoy the pool, just like every other kid. So I wanted you all to know that, all right? So we've got some good stuff going on. Yes, ma'am.
And then backtracking, the farmer's market has started. It started June 1st. We've had 2 markets already, and they have been fabulous. Crowd's been great. June 22nd, Rob Mattingly will be there performing live. So come out, get your vegetables, other things, and listen to some music that day. He will start at 10 and play until noon. I started advertising this today. It's the Battle of the Badges, the Bullitt County Blood Drive, July 5th from 9 to 3. If you want to give blood that day, you can, there's flyers on the back table, or you can go on their website and reserve your appointment. So,
One thing about the City Fair Bullet Blast is we are really gonna try to work on parking. We would like everybody that's able to park a little further away. We've talked to St. Aloysius, because the way it's gonna be free rides, it's going to be very, very busy both days. So we wanna make sure that we're considerate about those folks that need a little closer distance to get there. We're gonna be working on parking in areas, but we'd like to make sure some of these areas that are closer, that we allow them for folks that need those assistance, okay? So kind of bear with us, but it should be busy both days.
We have little golf carts that can be.
We are gonna do
yeah,
some
we
of
have
that
golf
too.
carts,
We do have some of that going on as well, but I just wanna make sure that, like I said, we're gonna park at St. Aloysius when you're on it.
You know, like how Mohammed does it.
Ah.
How much is the dunks? Like
What was it last year? Was it
$1.
$1, yeah. I mean, we raised $1,000, if that tells you
How many
anything.
balls did they get for nothing?
I
They
think
can
they
throw
got
three? Two or
two
three?
for $1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
And we do $2 for $1.
yeah.
And then if somebody, we had somebody who needs $10 or $20.
Yeah, we are willing to take more money if let you push the button. Yeah, if you just give us more money. It was really a lot of
say, I'll
fun.
donate to like kids that maybe can't afford to do it. I'll donate some money.
Okay. All right, well, this is really going sideways real fast. Okay. It's gonna be a long night, honey. Long 2 nights. All right, it's gonna be fun though.
That's all I have.
Amber, thank you very much. Appreciate you giving us an update. Always appreciate what you do. Welcome back.
Thank you, Amber.
Miss Courtney, why don't you come up and say hey to us? Bring up that flag. What was that again? Can you bring that up? That was kind of cool. I thought that was cool. Who made that? Oh, look at that! Charlie's skill set there, buddy.
Me a gift, I was thinking like,
Yeah, look at that. That's very nice. Charlie, very nice job. That's awesome.
I just wasn't expecting this.
No, that is really nice. That's so nice. All right, so we'll put that back. All right, did a very nice job with that. All right, have you come back up and Charlie, man, that's very nice. Yes.
He is good sometimes.
He is? All right, all right.
We spent quite a few hours.
We've spent quite a few hours lately working on the veteran area of the park. We've been very hyper-focused on that over the last little bit. We are really working on the budget because what we want to do and what we have the dollars to do are very different. So we're really being mindful of giving Bullitt County and the folks that are going to travel here something that's very special. So what we know, we're going to include everything from World War I on. There will be something there to recognize those that have served up through Operation Enduring Freedom. So I think that is a very, that's a well plan. There will be something to honor each service, each branch. And we were joking because the Space Force is relatively new. Like, I feel like if we were gonna do by seniority, how long these branches have been established, it would be like a multi-layered pillar effect, but everybody's gonna be treated equally and get the same respect and love. So if you or someone in your family served in one of the branches, you can go either to the event or to the war they served in, or you can go directly and spend some time at the specific Navy, Marine, Army area in the park. We're being very careful to incorporate things such as poppies, because that is very tied to military and to respecting those who have served, but we also have to be respectful of the good old Salt River. So again, what we want to do and what we're going to do, we're figuring that out with the most experienced folks who can give us, we call them the veg experts. So they're the ones letting us know this is what we can do, and even if we do a nod and have poppies involved in the plans, it's not gonna be near what we were hoping for, just because we're in a flood zone and we have to respect that. And there's no way that we're gonna spend money on something that we know we could prevent. So just know we really are considering all factors. But we have spent quite a bit of time on this, and again, like we talked about, as soon as we can get a good draft of where the walking stones, where the bricks, where the light poles are going, that's when we'll start putting together an event that'll be very special about how to incorporate our smaller businesses who can't give a $10,000 donation, but they can certainly give a $500 donation to make sure they represent someone in their family. Or if it's just someone that wants to represent their grandfather that served in Korea, they can pay and they can be a part of this too. So we will not be excluding folks because of money. We want everyone in this area that had a friend or family that served, that they want to be honored. They will have the opportunity to have their names, branch, and year served a part of this. So that's a very specific, but we've been working, and actually we're working with a couple of groups at this time because we really are being mindful of the dollars, and we want it to look amazing within a budget that makes sense, that we can feel good about.
Yeah, because this originally was the beam beds, and now I'm not sure who you got,
Right.
others
Right.
working with you now on that. That's also gonna be in the area, the greenscape area. Right? That's the
Exactly.
area
It's
that's-
beautiful. I
yeah.
mean, it is a very tranquil area. It is definitely going to promote reflection. That we really want to set it up to be an area you can enjoy and reflect and spend some time there. So that is my big update. We have lots of conversations still. I mean, there's so much going on downtown, and there's every single day you can see progress on overall the pride that people are having within their buildings and the sidewalks. If you look, just drive down there and look at the streetscaping, even though it's old and fallen apart a little, it's never looked nicer, it's never been cleaner. It's really, I think, meeting and kind of creating that network of folks. It's making a difference. You guys that come down there and continue to beautify it and continue to work on it, man, it makes a world of difference. You're getting to know every business owner. They know that you're there. They know that you're connecting, and it makes such a big difference.
I know we're still gonna try to get together with the industrial park group. I know we're kind of working that piece out, because that's a big piece towards some of the donations that we've been talking about, trying to get a co-op group of folks to give us a pretty substantial donation, so.
There's a group of 4 that are putting together something that I think will be, that'll help offset quite a bit of what we're trying to do there.
All right.
Any questions? And if anybody has any input, especially on the Veterans Memorial, if you want to see kind of what we're looking at, I'm happy to show and do. It's just really,
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause I wanna know what your ideas on the poppies are. Cause do you remember the British, like the England poppies with the display they did over there with the poppies? It was huge, and if you haven't seen it, go out and.
well, there's
and
probably
Google
about 500 of
They
those.
had, it was like pouring over castles, and it was a poppy for every death over there. And it was gorgeous, but I had some ideas on it. So I'll send
Absolutely.
you an email.
That's what, the thought of having all of these poppies, and then Scott's like, okay, so when that, so being elevated, do anything we can do to be creative so they don't get washed away every 3 years, that's our goal.
Exactly.
Yep, so again, I definitely input's welcome, because not only you being a part of it helps be satisfied with what we do, but also you can communicate specifically and say, well, I know for sure there'll be poppies. I know for sure there'll be a spot for Army veterans and active duty and loved ones to reflect. So those things, it means a lot, and I think that it just keeps the momentum very positive about what's going on in the park.
All right.
Anything else?
Anybody?
Thank you.
We good? Thank you, Ms. Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
All right, so on your list, you have a reappointment of Candace Burton. I did actually reach out to him. She could not make it tonight.
Okay.
But she's going to come back. She's going to be on the ethics board. But Joe also mentioned too that we're going to get a couple of alternates. So we just keep a couple of alternates. So just get with me on that, okay? All right, so we actually, just real quick, Clayton, will you come up here, man, please? Thank you. So Faith met this fine gentleman. I met him a couple years ago, but Faith got to see him Friday.
At the car show.
All right, if you'll click that button on Clayton, if you will, just introduce yourself to everybody and talk about what you want to talk about.
I appreciate it, Jose. Thank you for having me today and giving me a couple moments. My name is Clayton Hamilton. I am a retired Marine and a veteran of Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. More importantly, I'm a Bullitt County boy. About 7 months ago, I founded a veteran VSO, Veteran Service Organization, nonprofit, called Returning American Warriors. We have spent the last 7 or 8 months working on this, and we are soon to launch here in Shepherdsville. We are a national organization, so I have sister battalions up in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana that I get a lot of support from. Without giving you the whole spiel, our mission and what we do is immediate assistance. We run a mobile food truck that we plan to park 12 times a month in Bullitt County. It's not official yet, but we're already running that. I've parked it in your city already, Mayor, sorry. We are going to put up between 16 and 20 Shepherd's boxes, and we will keep those stocked. We hope the community keeps them stocked. We also run immediate assistance for veterans having a hard time. Your lights get shut off. I could fix that faster than the VA can. Your hot water heater breaks. It's not just for veterans, their family and active duties. An older lady who lost her World War II husband 10 years ago calls me because her hot water heater breaks. We're gonna go fix it. That's what we do. You're gonna start seeing us around your town and your cities. We serve all of Bullitt County. In 6 months, we've grown to 22 members. Last month, in the last month, we have fed about 80 families, and we've run what we call 4 fire missions, going out and helping people. Our board and our members have done a good job. They're very creative on raising funds. We're really good at networking. Other VSOs we work with, the VA, the Vet Center, the VFW, the Marine Corps League, the American Legion, we know these guys. If there's something we can't do, we probably know somebody who can. To be a member or to work with us, if that's something you want to do, you're more than welcome. Anybody could be a member of what we do. You don't necessarily have to ride a Harley. We ask one thing. You show up and you do a little work, and you have what's called a servant's heart. And our entire mission and what we tried to design in this whole thing is a veteran that struggles, PTSD, alcoholism, addiction, family problems. They're not going to drive down to the VA and get help if their young son is hungry. That young man's going to go to work the next day, not go see a therapist. We're going to breach that gap in this community. A strong community starts with our veterans, right? Once we do that, maybe we could reach out and help the rest of the community, but what Returning American Warriors focuses on right now is simply that. If you know a veteran in help, get on our website. Next meeting, I will have flyers, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Get on our website, my phone number personally, give us a call. I hold a meeting once a month in Mount Washington, and we discuss how to help. And I've gotten a lot of great ideas from people who just show up and say, what about this? And I go, bing. I appreciate your time.
Hey, come here, man. I'm gonna say.
Clayton, what's your email, or your website address?
I will write it down for you.
Okay.
The website address?
Yes.
I'll write it down for you because we have actually a couple.
Oh, okay.
I'll get that to you.
Hey, and we also have this facility. If you ever want to have a meeting over here, just let you get with us and we'll figure something out for you as well, all right?
I appreciate it.
I appreciate what you're doing. Hey, thank you very much. cool. We just keep getting more organizations working together. That's a really cool concept. I'm really glad. Thank you, Clayton. We appreciate it very much. All right. We have some old business to deal with. All right, the first one here is an ordinance reading on the zoning, 024017. If you will read that for us, Ms. Catherine.
Ordinance 024017, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.93 acres more or less located at 2162 Highway 44 East in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 045 W0007024, from R2 residential to B1 highway business, sponsored by Councilmember Faith Portman. Summary. Number one, overrides the recommendations of the Bullock County Joint Planning Commission to rezone approximately 0.93 acres located at 2162 Highway 44 East in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 045 W0007024, subject property, from R2 residential to B1 highway business with certain restrictions, including the restriction that the property only be used as a salon business. 2, provides findings of facts and rezones the subject property from R2 residential to B1 highway business with the following restrictions. A, all lighting to be directed inward to the property being rezoned. B, compliance with all zoning regulations for Bullock County and the cities of Hillview, Lebanon Junction, Mount Washington, and Shepherdsville as recorded in County Ordinance Book 1, page 517, and any amendments thereto, including but not limited to Section 5.701F related to the installation of a visual and mechanical barrier of at least 6 feet in height between the property rezoned and residential zone properties. 3, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right. See, I told you they like coming to city council meetings. You get a freaking flower. Make sure you get your card punched. You can start coming for free.
I'll make a motion, we approve this.
That's why we're overriding all that.
All right, so we got Faith's approval. Bonnie's second.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to rezone it in accordance with ours, the first
Okay.
paragraph overrides the Planning and Zoning Commission completely.
Yes. Brad?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
All right, thank you all, council. All right, we'll get into the fun budget stuff. All right. So, Ms. Catherine, our next ordinance is going to be 024. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, first of all, I wanted you to talk last meeting. I'm not letting you talk this meeting. Nope.
Well,
No,
okay, do
actually-
we want to read it and then have her discuss, because then we can ask questions about what I've read, if they have questions.
Well, this is really just a presentation over what has happened in the past year, and
It's not.
Okay.
so it really doesn't, there's not direct ties to that
okay.
ordinance.
Yeah. Is it ready to go over there? Is it turned on? Where's the remote? Does she have the remote?
I was gonna say, my remote's missing.
We're all praying it works here. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's on.
It was working out before, so.
All right.
So one of the things that I've wanted to do since I've been here is put together a presentation to show people what we do. Because I really think it is underrated what the city employees actually do in the city. So the first thing, we started off the year in late May and June of doing the bond issue. It was a great motivator, and everybody played a part in that. So that was the beginning of the year. City business operations. These are things that you all might not know. These are what I call KPIs. So current employees for the city is 129. We have 13 sewer employees. We have hired 30 new employees in fund year 24. 12 of those were fire department, maybe a couple extra. One extra, I know, but we hired an HR consultant, completed fund year 22 audit and started fund year 23. Spyglass audit will save the city over $18,000 every year. Workers' comp audit. upgraded the accounting software, started conversion on the occupational tax system, issued 876 POs, and issued 4,326 payments, either in checks or ACH payments. The reason that's so many is because we have a lot of utility bills, a lot. All those street lights out there come with a bill. Move CID into bigger offices. Transition to shepherdsvilleky.gov. 48 new ordinances and 5 ARPA resolutions. And 81 building permits were issued. The police department was honored and got 100% score on an audit. Great job for the police department. They were also given accreditation in July of 2023, so did a great job there. Tried to include everybody. If I omitted somebody, I apologize. We had 12 new recruits start at Shepherdsville Fire Department, thanks to a $3.7 million federal grant. There they are. I believe they're doing some type of extrication. The fire department promotes safety. If you've been to any of these events, you see them all the time. They are always there promoting safety in some way. And we need it. We need that as a community. So then planning for the future. We have done a lot of this, a lot. And the transformation begins. So with that grant, we've been able to purchase property to start the transformation. Properties purchased to transform the community to provide our citizens with entertainment activities and a great park that are essential to the quality of life. Stouts Building purchased that property. Went through some stages. And it looks better today.
They did a great job.
Yes, they did.
They did a really good job.
Looks better.
A local company did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So this is the old water plant. I think most people know it, but I don't know if people notice that it's not there.
It's gone.
But it looks really nice. And this is the Mulvaney property. Looks really nice, cleaned up.
And just for everybody on that last picture, that was where the restrooms and the rest area is going to be for that entrance to the park. That's what that area is going to be designed for.
This is the Williams property. Just some pictures that we took. City park fencing. This is just some projects that have been done throughout the city. I think the city park fencing looks great.
It does, looks one, yeah.
And then since I have been here, I've been here 3 years, and every year some residents from Bel Air come to the meeting and complain. And if you have not driven on Bel Air, the road has been paved and it looks great, thanks to Public Works, and it was pretty bad. If you hadn't driven it, it was pretty bad.
It was bad.
So,
Really.
refurbish of fire truck engine 5. This is what it looks like before they sent it off. This is what it looked like when they got it back. Financially, this was a great decision. The sewer department has worked hard this year. They've raised manholes, and they've also accomplished the new office building. They are working on finishing that out right now. It looks great over there.
You guys got to go see it. If you haven't seen it, it really is it's very professionally done, and it's going to be a nice accommodations for those guys as they grow.
City events, and I will say kudos to Amber because great job here. When I put all this together, you really see everything that she's done, and I know we've missed some. So the color walk, I think we did too.
Well, we have one in October coming up.
Okay. Basketball camps, gaga ball. more events, the City of Shepherdsville Cleanup Day, and I will say that this was well utilized. Lots and lots of people utilize this. And this isn't the one that just happened this weekend. I was really thinking about the one that happened 8 months ago or so. But my understanding is the one that happened this weekend was really a great event too. The shred event, we'll have to determine if we will do that event again. We had more participants this year than we had last year, but we'll see. It's not a very expensive event, and the people who do utilize it like it. Shakespeare in the Park, this was the first year for that. I thought it was a great turnout, so we'll work on that for next year. This was the Wine, Whiskey, and Ale Fest. Great turnout there. The food truck invasion and bullet glass. The food truck was great, even with the golf tournament in town and the graduations going on.
Oh, yeah.
There was still a fantastic turnout. I went down early. I was going to come in here and do some work, and I thought I'm going to stop by there early before they get too busy. Well, the parking, I had to park so far away, I decided I'll just eat someplace else. Bullet Blast coming event, it'll be great, I'm sure.
Last year was packed.
Yes.
It's gonna be,
It always is.
yep.
So what are the priorities in the new year? And the budget reflects the priorities. So the priorities this year are in our $27 million budget for the general fund. That's what the average budget is for general fund. 60% of that will go to public safety. And that is the fire department, police department. Protecting neighborhoods from blight and dilapidated buildings. I think you've seen that with this mayor, that is really a priority of his. Affordable housing initiatives, we need this. Starting the construction phase for new park facilities, approximately $15 million of the budget. This will be very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Traffic management, we all know we need that. I'll fight with you on that one, so.
And she will.
Drainage improvements, we're in a flood zone, we can't solve all of those issues, but we can do more. Public safety, our fire department, our police department do a great job. And I know it's said at every meeting that they do a great job, but I think everybody needs to know that. I work with them every day, and sometimes we don't always see eye to eye, but I always respect what they do. So, and then the park. So this is one of the latest renditions of the park. This is off the Frankie Simon Avenue area. Looks great. This is the pool. This is the exterior piece of it. There's a pool inside. And I have went to meetings several years ago on the pool project in Bullitt County, and I wanted a pool where we could have swim meets. The high schools could develop swimmers. With the Salt River, our kids need swim lessons. So I look forward to this happening. So a city's budget is a blueprint for its priorities. That's what this is. Along with the budget and leadership, our vision can take shape and transform the city of Shepherdsville. And I hope to see it in the next 3 years really move forward.
I like it. You did good. Hey, so Chief Lane, Chief Steve, she gets a Christmas card. I saw all that there. Maybe throw a little money in that thing, would you? Yeah, nice job, Miss Tanya. I really like it. Yeah, very nice. Tanya, appreciate it. I know, and what she's talking about, we're talking about, if you looked at the ordinances and you looked at the checks we wrote and the things that we were doing, there's a lot of work that's done behind the scenes for a lot of folks that are sitting in the city hall. And, you know, obviously we do respect our police and fire. Public Works, you know, they've grown and they're going to continue to grow because we're going to keep working on streets. As you well know, if you look out here, tomorrow they're going to finish off the Conestoga and Adam Shepherd, right? That right-hand turn is going to be real nice. It's going to be fixed because it was all eaten up. So we are looking at sections of roads to do that. We do our high-traffic roads first, but we'll be getting into some of the neighborhoods. we're gonna continue to do that. We know that's a process, it just goes on, that we're gonna keep fixing roads, because that's just what happens in cities. But again, for us, we know we have got some water issues, and we know we got traffic issues. We're working on those, but it doesn't mean we don't develop a city that all families can enjoy. We're gonna do both, and so we got a lot of projects going. Some people might be concerned with that, but I think we've got a good group, good team that's gonna take care of making all this happen. So I just wanna make sure you do that. Thank you, Tanya, for doing that. I didn't know she wanted to do that, and I thank her for doing it. All right, with that said, Ms. Catherine, we're gonna proceed on with our reading of, what's this? This is a 024018. Which I believe is the,
Ordinance 024018, an ordinance adopting the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky annual budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government, sponsored by Councilmember Faith Portman. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025 is hereby adopted as follows. Resources available general fund, under the general fund, transferred in ARPA and bonds, $16,702,500. Funds carried forward, $2,302,211.63. Total funds carried forward in the general fund, $19,004,711.63. Total funds carried forward in MAP LGEA, $97,000. Estimated revenue in the general fund is as follows. Occupational tax, $17,800,000. Property tax, $3,330,000. Insurance tax, $1,600,000. Other taxes, $287,000. Franchise tax, $97,300. State incentive pay, $394,239. Business licenses, $110,000. Inspection, building permits, and plan review, $36,000. Liquor licenses, $22,000. Police court warrants and reports, $17,263. Administrative services, $102,000. Restricted revenue, $1,300,000. Miscellaneous revenue, $166,121.78. Interest earned, $1,210,000. Municipal road aid under MAP LGEA is $252,550. Total estimated revenues under the general fund is $26,471,923.78. Total estimated revenues under MAP LGEA is $252,550. Total resources available for appropriations under the general fund, $45,476,635.41. Total resources for appropriations available under MAP LGEA, $349,550. Appropriations, administration, total payroll expenses, $1,162,649.28. Total employee expenses, $253,710. Total department operating expenses, $1,665,672. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $66,000. Total contractor fees and services, $452,800. Total capital expenses, $2,847,500.04. Total administrative appropriations, $6,448,331.32. Total administrative expenses under MAP LGEA, $349,550. Public Works includes Parks and Rec. Total payroll expenses, $907,858.79. Total employee expenses, $287,690. Total department operating expenses, $372,795. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $273,000. Total contractor fees and services, $60,000. Total capital expenses, $3,949,000. Total Public Works, $5,850,343.79. Fire, total payroll expenses, $5,839,707.45. Total employee expenses, $1,216,052.99. Total department operating expenses, $377,115.31. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $357,000. Total contractor fees and services, $81,500. Total capital expenses, $871,804.87. Total for the fire department, $8,743,180.61. Police, total payroll expenses, $5,566,980.96. Total employee expenses, $957,236.29. Total department operating expenses, $505,290.81. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $267,250. Total contractor fees and services, $21,000. Total capital expenses, $462,680. Total police department, $7,780,438.06. Council, total payroll expenses, $90,347.40. Total employee expenses, $64,085. Total department operating expenses, $27,470. Total for council, $181,902.40. City and park capital expansion, total department operating expenses, $2,500. Total contractor fees and services, $4 million. Total capital expenses, $10,500,000. Total for the city and park capital expansion, $14,502,500. Overhead, total payroll expenses, $0. Total employee expenses, $19,000. Total department operating expenses, $39,000. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $603,000. Total contractor fees and services, $264,500. Total capital expenses, $140,000. Total overhead, $1,065,500. Total appropriations under the general fund is $44,572,196.18. Total appropriations under MAP LGEA is $349,550. Excess of resources over under appropriations, $904,439.23. Estimated fund balance to be carried forward to fiscal year 2025-2026, $904,439.23. Section 2, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared severable, and if any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance shall for any reason be declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Section 3, all prior ordinances or parts of any prior ordinance in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance is adopted in accordance with KRS 83A.060 in that it was introduced and given first reading on May 28, 2024, and given second reading on June 10, 2024, and shall be in full force and effect upon publication pursuant to KRS Chapter 424.
All right. So much fun reading all those numbers. I know you always like doing that. She tells me how much she likes to read numbers like that. Anyway, so council, we started April the 5th. Had a couple meetings working on different things for you guys, giving you as much information. So if we have any other questions, I would like to hear them, but let me know what your thoughts, and then we can get a motion and a second and vote.
I make a motion.
All right. And I got a second by Faith. Paula's got a, all right.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Yes. Mike?
If you don't mind, I'd just like to make a comment here. I just had a feeling I'd be one of the early ones called to vote on this today, for some reason. As long as I've been on a council, I personally have felt that I've never really got an adequate breakdown of a lot of proposed expenses. A lot of money goes into big pots. And if you don't have control of how that's spent, we all know kind of how someone is when they're spending other people's money. It was really today before I could make up my mind how I was going to vote on this evening. And this budget is no different. In a lot of respects, I know I've talked to the mayor, I've talked to others. There's still more answers I want, and I will pursue them. That being said, what kind of swayed me today to vote the way I'm going to vote is a conversation that I just had with Tanya this afternoon by chance, wasn't intended or planned. And she just simply told me that anything I wanted to know about this, she'd make sure I knew. So that being said, I'll vote yes.
Means we have to be nice to Tanya? That's not conditional.
It
is it?
was being nice to Tanya, or
Oh,
I
yeah.
chose Tanya.
I got you.
Right.
I'm good.
And I like talking numbers.
I know.
Yes,
We
she
like,
does.
we like
I
talking
do
about it.
too.
We
She
like it.
knows that,
Yeah.
and you, at one of the other meetings, you basically said when the department heads got up, you got up and said, now you're going to talk about numbers, which are, nobody finds sexy, nobody finds importance, that's not the things that look beautiful, you know, and unfortunately, I like to know the numbers.
I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate it.
welcome.
And thank you, Tanya. We appreciate that as well from you.
Paula,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith.
Yes, and Tanya is always, she always answers
Yeah,
anytime.
I think that's a good point. I
Yes.
think that even though we voted for that, and thank you, council, because we want to make sure, anything you get, we give you monthly numbers, we want to make sure. If you need things, please ask. I mean, call out, reach out to the department head, because it's a moving target. These are projections. And, you know, we're obviously going to have a nice carryover this year, which we're pretty excited about, because it'll help us with some of our expenses and our big projects. But for us, the biggest thing that I want you guys to see is that ask all the questions you want. I know Steve and Lane, you guys have been very, very open to helping us out with things that you guys do, that you guys know that we don't know, every nuts and bolts of things that you guys do. So I know both of you guys have been very cooperative in helping out. And Tanya, thank you for what you do. Man, that's going to be a lot of nice going your way. Whew. I don't know if I can do that. I'll do my best.
I'll collect.
No, you will collect. All right, well, council, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much, and I know we got a lot of big plans, a lot of good things going to happen this year, but I want you all to know that we're excited about what's going to happen this next fiscal year, and we'll keep you guys up with it. All right, but thank you guys. All right, next one on, yes?
I missed the call. Did Brad vote?
Yeah. Did you sneak it in? He snuck it in.
Is that right?
Boy, put him on the spot. All right. Miss Catherine, not so much. Well, a little bit here. All right. 024019.
Ordinance 024019, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance number 020009 and 011084 related to establishing fees for usage of the City of Shepherdsville's wastewater treatment facilities, sponsored by Councilmember Brad Whitaker. Summary. Section 1 repeals ordinance 011-084 enacted on August 16, 2011 in its entirety. Section 2 repeals ordinance 020009 enacted on August 10, 2020 in its entirety. Section 3 sets forth that this ordinance is necessary for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Shepherdsville, with the proceeds being used for maintaining the wastewater facilities. Section 4 sets forth the definitions. Section 5 sets forth that monies collected shall be deposited in the wastewater operation, maintenance, and replacement fund. Section 6 sets forth the following sewer connection tap-on fees for the City of Shepherdsville residents and facilities. Individual residents, $2,000 plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Multifamily dwelling unit, $2,000 plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Tourist home, park, or mobile home, $2,000 per tourist home, park, or mobile home plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Commercial or industrial user, $4,500 for 1-inch water line, $5,500 for 2-inch water line, $6,500 for 3-inch water line, larger than 3-inch water line, $6,500 plus $1,000 for each inch larger than 3 inches, plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line and the cost of testing related to the industrial permit user. Wastewater hauler discharge, $300 for a permit. Truckers who haul holding tank waste and discharge it to the treatment facilities shall be charged $50.45 per 1,000 gallons. The fee for discarded sludge from the other wastewater plants shall be the sum of $64.15 per 1,000 gallons. Access to interceptor line, $1,000 in addition to tap-on fee. Section 6 further sets forth the following sewer connection tap-on fees for out-of-city residents and facilities. Individual residents, $5,000 plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Multifamily dwelling per unit, $5,000 for a 1-bedroom unit, $6,000 for a 2-bedroom unit, $7,000 for a 3-bedroom unit, plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Tourist home, park, or mobile home, $5,000 per tourist home, park, or mobile home, plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line. Commercial or industrial user, $11,000 for 1-inch water line, $14,000 for 2-inch water line, $17,000 for 3-inch water line, larger than 3-inch water line, $17,000 plus $3,000 for each inch larger than 3, plus the actual cost of bringing the sewer line from the sewer main to the property line and the cost of testing related to an industrial permit user. Section 7 sets forth the following rates and charges effective July 1st, 2024. Total gallons of water consumption and discharge per month, 0 to 2,000. The volume-based charge for a customer class residential 1 is $13.62. Customer charge under customer class residential 1, $9.20. Minimum bill under customer class residential 1, $22.83. Total gallons of water consumption discharge per month over 2,000. Volume-based charge for a customer class residential 1, $6.81 per 1,000 gallons. Customer charge under class residential 1 not applicable. Minimum bill under customer class residential 1 not applicable. Total gallons of water consumption discharge per month for customer class commercial 1s, 0 to 2,000. Volume-based charge, $14.50. Customer charge, $9.20. Minimum bill, $23.70. Total gallons of water over 2,000 for customer class commercial 1. Volume-based charge, $7.25 per 1,000 gallons. Customer charge, not applicable. Minimum bill not applicable. Total gallons of water consumption discharge per month for customer class commercial 3. 0 to 2,000. Volume-based charge, $15.32. Customer charge, $9.20. Minimum bill, $24.53. Total gallons of water consumption discharge for customer class commercial 3 over 2,000, $7.25 per 1,000 gallons plus 41 cents per 1,000 gallons. Customer charge, not applicable. Minimum bill, not applicable. For customer contract class beam facility, total gallons of water consumption discharge per month, any flow, volume-based charged, $8.01 per 1,000 gallons. Customer charge, $5,500. Minimum bill, $5,500. Further sets forth the following surcharge rates for excessive strength sewage. Surcharge rates. BOD surcharge rate, 0.544 cents per pound in excess of 250 milligrams per liter. TSS surcharge rate, 43 cents per pound in excess of 250 milligrams per liter. NH3 and surcharge rate, 87 cents per pound in excess of 30 milligrams per liter. O&G surcharge rate, 48 cents per pound in excess of 100 milligrams per liter. Further sets forth calculation of the capacity charge. Section 8 sets forth the records and review policy. Section 9 sets forth the billing schedule, penalty of 10% and disconnection. Section 10 sets forth that a violation of this ordinance is a misdemeanor with a fine up to $500 per violation. Section 11 sets forth a severability clause. Section 12 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinance in conflict with this ordinance. And Section 13 sets forth the publication requirement.
All right, so I just want to add one thing to this. When Tanya and I were talking about, we looked at rates. So we are down about $3 difference in rate from 2018, something like that. One of the things we've got to be very careful with, this is a very important piece of the city, and the sewer rates have to be kind of in conjunction to operating and its growth. So again, appreciate that we've talked about this. This is an obligation that this council has and myself to make sure that we're actually working on, always looking at it. We don't ignore that a dollar could be too much, but we have to keep that in mind if we're going to run our own sewer department, and we look at where the direction of the city goes. As our growth goes, so does our wastewater treatment plant. And there's going to be a lot of money that's going to be to expand that. So we want you guys to know that. I know these are really exciting numbers that you gave us, Catherine. I mean, they were so riveting. All right, but anyway, trying to keep a little humor with all that. Anyway, thank you for doing that again. All right, so I don't know if there's any questions about this rate increase. I know we've all talked about it, seen the necessity of it. But if you have any other comments, I'd be more than welcome to get, if you want to give them to you, give it to us now. If we're not, can I get a motion? Paula got a motion, and I need a second, please. I got a second with Brad.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Faith,
No.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Paula.
Yes.
You need.
We just want to make sure you're all right, sweetie. All right. All right. Yeah, Ms. Catherine, 024020.
All right, good news. Last one with numbers. Ordn- Ordinance number 024020, an ordinance adopting the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky sewer operation and maintenance budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 by estimating the revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of the sewer department. Sponsored, we had a sponsor on this.
Yeah,
Who
that's
sponsored
Faith.
this?
Me.
Yeah, it's
Did you forget,
There.
Faith?
I don't know, was it Renee?
It says
Yeah, she,
on the agenda.
Okay, sorry, I'm reading from the thing, sorry. Sponsored by Councilmember Faith Portman. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025, is hereby adopted as follows. Resources available. Fund balance carried forward from fiscal year 2023-2024, $2,420,961.84. Estimated revenues. Sewer revenue, LWC, $3,776,937.50. Sewer revenue, Mount Washington Sewer, $30,571. Jim Beam payment, $2,800,000. Sewer capacity, $50,000. Sewer connections tap-on, $120,000. Sewer connections interceptor, $5,000. Residential commercial sludge, $15,000. Interest income, $100,000. Miscellaneous revenue, $37,000. Total estimated revenues, $6,934,508.50. Total resources available for appropriations, $9,355,470.34. Appropriations, total payroll expenses, $1,517,696.21. Total employee expenses, $361,266. Total department operating expenses, $979,080. Total facilities and equipment expenses, $1,343,500. Total contractor fees and services, $465,000. Total capital expenses, $4,055,075. Total administrative, $8,721,617.21. Excess of resources over appropriations placed in reserves, $633,000. Total appropriations, $9,354,617.21. Estimated fund balance to be carried forward to fiscal year 2025-2026, $853.13. Section 2, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared severable, and if any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance shall for any reason be declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Section 3, all prior ordinances or parts of any prior ordinance in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance is adopted in accordance with KRS 83A.060 in that it was introduced and given first reading on May 28, 2024, and given second reading on June 10, 2024, and shall be in full force and effect upon publication pursuant to KRS Chapter 424.
all right, again.
I'm better at reading words.
Some more exciting numbers. All right, well, obviously, it's very important, it's vital, obviously, a budget we have there. We've got a good group, and we always appreciate it. It's always a bad situation that reminds us how important that is, wastewater is. And obviously, some of the runoff in our city, things that we get challenged with, concerns them a lot. So we look at those type of things, and and keeping that in relative to what's going on in the city, but it's very vital to us. It's very important that you guys know that, I mean, we don't completely on everything that's going on over there, but we know we've got a good group taking care of it. So with that said,
If I
Mike?
could ask,
Absolutely.
I got a question for Tanya.
yes.
Because she promised me to answer everything I
All
know.
right. Put you on the
We'll
spot.
start off early.
Hope you
huh?
got it all memorized.
Is this the last year for the Jim Beam payment?
The $100,000?
$100,000?
Yes, so the Jim Beam made $100,000 payment for 5 years.
Right,
And this is.
That was the settlement.
okay, I just want to make sure that 2,000,008 wasn't,
That's their.
Oh, that's our normal.
okay, that's their normal stuff, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, to only have, what, $900 or so left over on something that large that's gonna go away next year,
Right, that piece will not go away. So
Okay,
as long as they're
very
using
good.
water.
you promise,
it's
right?
zero bill.
You promise that? Okay.
Well, she said as long as they were using water. So
Right.
if something happens to them, she's not taking,
She's not taking credit for
if
their
they
own
go
water.
bankrupt or something or stop using water, she's not taking responsibility for that.
All right.
Promises made, promises
I'd say they're gonna use water.
I think they're gonna use, I think they will. What these, all right.
Well, I'll make a motion to
All right.
accept.
All right, look at it. Paul's over there, clicking that button, ready to go over there. All right.
All
Miss
right.
Brenda?
Bonnie,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes,
Paulette.
Yes.
All right, council, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to a very good fiscal year. Thank you all very much for that. All right. Our next ordinance, before you read that,
No, it's a municipal.
I'm sorry, which one is this one? Oh, am I the wrong one?
It's
Well, she's got a municipal,
Agenda for you to follow.
on the agenda, there's a municipal order.
I don't read well. Where are we at here? I thought it was, I
We're
kept,
gonna do business now, and
it's
we're doing-
it's stacked in the way that it is in my,
Here, we're gonna do this last though, okay? But we're gonna start here. We're
okay.
gonna do that.
You do with, all right, so now we've got a shift in the, and I did nothing, it wasn't my idea. She's shifting. All right, go
Well, I
ahead.
meant for it to be put on the end, so. All right. Municipal order number 24005, City of Shepherdsville. A municipal order of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, making the written determination required by KRS 82.083 for the sale or other disposition of property owned by the city. Whereas the City of Shepherdsville now owns property that is no longer useful or beneficial to the city, and whereas KRS 82.083 establishes certain requirements for the disposition of such property, now therefore it is hereby determined and ordered by the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, written determinations. Pursuant to the requirements of KRS 82.083 for the sale or other disposition of property owned by the city, it is hereby determined that the property described herein is no longer needed or beneficial to the city and shall be disposed of as set forth in KRS 82.0834. Section 2, description of property. The subject property to be disposed of includes Unit 80, 2015 Ford Utility Interceptor, VIN 1FM 5K8AR 4FGC 08602. I lied, there are more numbers. Unit 84, 2016 Ford Utility Interceptor, VIN 1FM 5K8AR 4GGB 45017. Unit 86, 2017 Ford Utility Interceptor, VIN 1FM 5K8AR 4HGA 80946. Unit 87, 2016 Ford Sedan Interceptor, VIN 1FAHP2MK 7GG 145727. Unit 88, 2016 Ford Sedan Interceptor, VIN 1FAHP2MK 9GG 145728. Unit 89, 2016 Ford Sedan Interceptor, VIN 1FAHP2MK 0GG 145729. Unit 91, 2016 Ford Sedan Interceptor, VIN 1FAHP2MK 9GG 145731. Unit 93, 2017 Ford Explorer, VIN 1FM 5K8D8 1HGC 89015. Unit 94, 2017 Ford Explorer, VIN 1FM 5K8D8 5HG D38359. Section 3, intended use of property at time of acquisition. The property was to be used by the City of Shepherdsville Police Department. Section 4, Reasons why it is in the public interest to dispose of the property. Due to mileage and wear and tear, the police department no longer uses these vehicles. Section 5, method of disposition. The property will be sold by electronic auction in accordance with KRS 82.083, subsection 4D. Section 6, compensation received. Compensation resulting from the disposal of the property shall be transferred to the city's general fund in accordance with KRS 82.0836. Section 7, the provisions of this municipal order are hereby declared severable, and if any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this municipal order shall for any reason be declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this municipal order. Section 8, all prior municipal orders or parts of any prior municipal order in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 9, this municipal order shall be in full force and effect upon adoption on this 10th day of June 2024.
All right, thank you, Ms. Catherine.
Motion.
Motion by Bonnie. Second by Paula. Ms. Brenda?
Mike,
Me, didn't you? Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes. Faith,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
All right, thank you, council. Sign the copy, you know, good.
You're right.
All right. All right, we got that, then you,
This is a public hearing for the.
yes, all
Are
right,
we doing that before these ordinances? Okay.
before you do that. All right, so we have a, you ready? We're gonna be on this one. All right? You know when you're ready.
Okay. All right, so, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so next up, we are holding a public hearing for rezoning of property located at West Blue Lick in Sand Dollar Court, lots 2 and 3, parcel ID 036-S00070110A, 0.3772 acres more or less, rezoning it from R3 to B1. The intent is for it to be a storage facility. So, is anyone here, to speak on this, either for or against the rezoning?
All right,
Okay.
Come up here, sir.
All right,
Come on. Yes, sir. If you'll touch that button and then give us
I
your
think-
name and address.
I think that's Jeff back there, and I think this is his, so let's have him go first.
Oh, okay.
Just because he's the one, this is your, right, am I right? Okay.
Yep.
me to leave it on?
Yes,
You can leave it off.
please.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll get to you, it just makes more sense to have the property owner speak first. So just state your name, full name, please.
Jeffrey L. Branham of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. First of all, I'd like to say thank you all for your consideration. Secondly, really, the only thing I have to say about it is like I said over at the other board meeting, kind of like goes along with what the mayor's saying. I mean, the lot's run down, it's ragged. It's in the city of Shepherdsville. It's right across the street from Shepherdsville Elementary School. And I mean, it needs to be cleaned up and something be done with it, other than just be, pretty much an empty lot that just collects debris and all kinds of stuff. So, I guess basically, what we were asking permission is to change it so we could develop it, and turn it into something better than what it is.
Okay. You guys have any questions? I've got something for them, but.
I have questions.
Yep.
This is a pretty small lot, and you're planning on putting, storage units on it?
Yeah, but I don't think it's the kind of storage unit that you're thinking of.
Well, what kind?
It's more of a flex unit building is basically what it would be.
I don't understand what that means.
Well, they built some up in, at Bells Mill Road, right there on the new road that cuts through Bells Mill Road up there. They're basically, they're bigger storage units. They're not little bitty individuals like 5x5 or 5x10s. Because I do realize that the property is smaller.
It's very tiny property.
Yeah.
It's a floodplain right there.
Yeah.
And You have no room to put in a retention pond.
No.
So, like the house that's directly behind that property floods every time it rains. There are small children, very small children living there. I've been over there, walked through all of it, went around, talked to people and everything. Without you being able to put a retention pond, you're gonna cause more flooding on the people that are already flooded. So I have a concern with that. Of course, you'll have to have fencing. Where's your entrance and your exit gonna be?
Well, naturally, it would be on Blue Lick, and it would also be down Sand Dollar Court. I mean, it'd basically be pretty much set up kind of like how the park's going to be set up over there. You know, I mean, because I've got road frontage on both. And as far as your drainage issues that you're talking about, I mean, they're running a business out of a house that's next door that's actually a concrete plant, and they dump stuff in there all the time. I mean, I've drove by there and looked by there myself, I mean, because I do own it, so. As far as the drainage issues, I don't think the drainage would be that big of an issue, because, I mean, I actually owned the house that was on lot 1 too, and Mr. Bill Harnon's the one who shot the grade and everything on that for me. So, like I've said before, even though the school is federal property, that lot is actually higher than the school, but being that's federal property, it's not floodplain. So, I mean, to me, that's kind of a catch-22, but I mean, I know I've talked to the mayor, even before I brought this up to present to everybody, that, you know, that he is gonna be doing some improvements to the sewer system and the drainage down Blue Lick Road, so, I mean, it's not like we wanna start on it tomorrow, and, you know, and my family's been in the excavating business for years, so I know all about drainage and how to make it work and what's going on.
Okay, so the lots are only 65 foot wide.
Right?
To build a house, you have to be 75 foot wide. I don't think that there's a variance that allows a commercial building to be built on the lot that's less than 65 foot wide. Your both ends that come to the roads are only 65 foot wide. So your buildings are gonna have to be very narrow to stay off of I wish I'd brought mine with me, I'm sorry.
That's the reason why I'm wanting to build the flex building, that's what I'm talking about.
What is it? So flexibility, what does it have as far as the number of storage spaces?
Basically, flex buildings are set up into small increments of people like to have a small business and need a little bit of room in a warehouse, that, you know, are possibly, you know, 400 to 500 square feet, basically a little bitty office inside of a metal building, and the rest of it's for your storage of your stuff. I mean, I understand it's not a big place,
Right.
but I also understand that I own it and I want to do something with it other than just sitting there.
Yeah. So your setbacks on this lot, according to planning and zoning, your front set off is 50 foot, sides are 25, and
Well, that still
rear
leaves,
is 30 foot.
that
So,
still leaves me 30 foot.
well, so you're going to include that house as a piece of that property
The
to
what?
enlarge the property? Are you using the house that you own there to,
No, I don't own a house there. I sold it to this gentleman.
the one that's in the corner of the L?
I don't know about no L.
The house that you sold them, does it face Blue Lick or
The
does
house
it
that I
face
sold
Sand
them
Dollar?
faces Blue Lick.
That's a garage. That's the house. Can you show us on this map here real quick?
That's the house that
Let's see, lot 1 is right here. This is Blue Lick, right?
No, this is Blue Lick.
Okay. This house and that property right there, that's lot 1, that's facing Blue Lick. Now, all this
Thank you,
other
Tanya.
stuff right here belongs to me, lot 2 and 3. And lot 2 and 3 are combined together because they had to be the way it was deeded, because of the way my attorney set it up was
was lot 2 is not actually in the floodplain, so to speak. Lot 3 is. So at one time, we was considering, building.
Because that was basically an unbuildable lot by itself, so they sold
They're
it.
both-
Right,
they're
right.
both
So we
unbuildable.
kept them together.
Right.
When we bought them, all three of them had different deeds.
Right.
And basically what we've done is combine the three
you wanna
together,
see?
or the other two together, 2 and 3.
He does not own this lot here.
No, that's lot
So-
1 that I saw.
So he just owns this here. That's 65 foot wide. This is 65 foot wide.
But this one's 126 feet or 25 feet, and this one's, 90,
Right.
or another
But
93.
the point is each lot still only 65 feet wide.
But I don't see it.
Is this part facing Blue Ridge?
That's Blue
No,
Lake.
that's,
Yeah, that's Blue Lake. No,
that's the houses on,
Need to at least see
that's
it.
the house.
Yeah, that's
this
the
is
back of
Sand Dollar here.
Court.
This is Sand Dollar here.
Okay, that's the house.
And
on
then
Sand
this
Dollar.
is Blue Lake.
Yeah, and the Shepherdsville School is right out here in the front
Yeah,
of the town.
That's what we're trying to look at now, just make sure, because this is what I'm, I know, yeah, this is, yeah,
Okay,
because
I'm
that's,
done
I
with
went over there with them.
Excuse me. I have a question.
Okay.
Is there any way we could see one of these flex units? Cause I don't have any idea.
I actually have, if I can find them, I actually have one on the phone.
What the flex looks like? He's gonna show her what the flex looks like.
Well, he's gonna, a couple things. When I met with him, went to go see the property, one of the key things in it, yes, it is his property, and he wants to do something with it. My concern has always been the water. Okay, so the water has to go off that runoff into 44, underneath 44, into that drainage.
That's at Bell's Mill, and right here's one, this is at Bell's Mill, and
So how many units is it?
See what you got.
Basically.
So it's one big building with,
it's one big building. And naturally, there's gonna be setbacks and stuff, and we're gonna utilize as much of it as we can. And we're gonna build it as big as we can. But this is what I was talking about, instead of regular, this is what they call flex units.
Yeah, my concern, I have no problem with that piece. My concern is, I wanna see where that design is, where that water comes towards the 44 and goes underneath, as we talked about when we went.
Right.
That's the biggest concern, I think, because we've seen already some other developments that have happened, where the water goes back the other way.
Okay. So you're anticipating that people could work out of those?
Well, whatever B1 would allow me to do. Because I took into consideration that, it is awful small for a bunch of little storage units.
What else would you do with the property? You're just talking about a house, you don't even move for furnish for a house. Bonnie was making that comment.
Well, the thing about me is all up and down Blue Lake Road right there, all of it, especially with the school across from it, is all going to commercial anyway. And-
What's gone to commercial?
Yeah, there's no commercial.
Commercial right
I think
everywhere
that
you're
the
at.
commercial
Well, the one
has-
right next door is a concrete
I
company
don't
now.
think that's actually been rezoned.
It's not rezoned,
And they are
so it's-
probably not supposed to be operating it like that.
I don't think they operate out of the home, from what I understand.
It's just, they
live
store
there.
their stuff
They
there.
store their stuff
Yeah.
there.
They live
Because
there,
the
there's
city
their
has
stuff
contacted
in
them.
the
Okay.
backyard.
Okay. I'm sure Ray has.
And they
Well, I don't know if it's legal or not, but they have a sign out front stating that they're a business and they run a business out of there, so
And we
whether
need to
it's
check
legal
it
or
out.
not, it's not up to me.
Well, I believe that they did check it out, and they said, they told them that they live there, and
Yeah.
they park their
equipment in the back.
How long ago was that?
Well, either which way, my point is it's not been rezoned. So it is it's
It's
currently
still
road,
resident, it's currently
currently zoned
residential.
residential.
I'm sure it's residential, we can go back and look at the
So
zone.
Jeff, how many units do you think you can fit on
I
that?
don't know. It's quite apparent it's not gonna be a lot.
Right.
Because like we've all talked about, I think altogether the lot is what, 125 across the one plus 65 more of that. So it's less than 200 feet from, across the lot this way. And then the back of the L, I think on the paper shows it's 62 or 63 feet that way.
So the model you're talking about really isn't a storage facility, it's kind of a business
Business.
strip center.
A strip
basically.
mall.
No, no,
almost.
it's not a, no, it's a, no.
Is it
it
gonna
won't-
be fenced
Well,
in?
you said that they're.
It'll be it's gonna be set up, they call them flex units.
But they have storefronts, is what you're showing us. What you're
Businesses
showing us,
rent them.
there's a storefront.
Well, no, they're not really storefronts, I guess, so.
Well, will it be fenced and secured or not? Or is it gonna be
Yeah, is it gonna be
open,
fenced in?
open,
Across the front of it, I don't see no need for it to be.
right, so no access gate or anything like
No.
that, right? Okay.
No, and plus that way it wouldn't be there wouldn't be no 24-hour, where there'd be no light restrictions or
Okay.
none of that stuff to it.
Cause to me, that really deviates from the idea of a storage facility,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Um,
Not having
So we-
security. Really would have to put a fence between their house and the back of the lot.
I-
That one.
I read
Well, I mean,
through-
I'm pretty sure there's already a fence across the back and across the back part of the other.
Yeah.
And the other fence wouldn't be a problem.
Well, and I'll be frank with you, what troubles me is I read through the planning and zoning testimony, and the case was made that there's been a lot of changes in that area that makes it worthy of being commercial, and that there was a strong need for storage facilities.
Yeah.
So that, what you're describing really isn't a storage
Well,
facility.
they still are storage facilities, they're just called flex units,
Yeah, but people are gonna be running businesses out
but
of
they're a
there,
little bigger.
whether it's a lawn care business, a wood shop, but it's gonna be kind of
Basically,
an operation.
it's a mini warehouse for
Even if it's
someone
just
to-
storage of equipment, it's
to
gonna be.
store their stuff in,
Right.
yeah.
And those are gonna be open 24 hours a day, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they can access it 24 hours a day.
24 hours.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to access, they can. I mean, if they lease it, it's theirs.
So, and then you said that there was a need for storage. Do you know what the occupancy rate is for the existing storage facilities in the city?
Of Shepherdsville?
Yeah,
I mean, most of them are in the 90% capacity, because anybody knows even where the lean land is, I'd like to buy 4 or 5 acres somewhere, and I wanna build some more.
right.
So, I mean, the
There's
need's
a
there,
place
I
al-
wouldn't be spending
There's a
my.
place already approved on Blue Lick that we approved for storage units that was never built, and that was, up there on, as you go in Blue Lick on the left, cause they filled all that in and flattened it out, it's overgrown with bushes and stuff now.
Across from,
Gavan.
House Apartments.
It belonged to Gavan.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're talking about, they cleared it all out?
They all cleared it all out and built it up, so it wouldn't be in the floodplain, and then they never did do anything.
Well,
But
I'd
that
like-
got approved.
It did get approved.
Well, it's
yeah.
still in the floodplain,
And
but
it's
they
still-
built it up.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a floodplain.
It was a swamp.
No, it still floods, is what I'm saying.
Does it?
I live next door to it, it floods.
So
What
looking at
did you say the entrance to this facility will be? You just have
I
one
mean,
or two?
it wouldn't make no difference. I mean, me, myself, I'd like to see the entrance actually be off of the $7 court side. But I mean, it makes no difference. I mean, I'll do whatever y'all need me to do. I just
People
want
down
to
there
develop.
park on the street, and it's a narrow street.
Yeah, I just need to develop it. Because it's no good just sitting there. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's, you know, at one time we had it up for sale and no one was really interested in it, so, we've decided, well, he said he was, but he wanted it for pennies on the dollar and,
$40,000 for 23 acres, I don't think it's worth that.
no, it was listed for 25, is how much it was listed
I got
for.
laughed at on the phone, so I wasn't gonna offer
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah,
Hang
neither
on,
here nor
hang on,
there.
guys,
Kevin,
hang on.
Kevin Robinson had it listed for $25,000. So,
So, Jeff, back to what they were talking about, it looks like when you add, if you're facing Sand Dollar, if you add the front length of lot 2 and lot 3, it looks like lot 2 is 125,
yeah.
long, and then lot 3 is
60,
65, so.
65, yeah.
Okay. I guess, you know, there's zoning regulations that talk about the setback and all of that. Are you aware of those, and have you determined if any of the buildings would fit within that? There's a front yard setback, a side yard, and a rear yard setback for all the businesses. Are you aware of those, and have you?
Well, I mean, even said at that, you're within the ranges you're talking about, you could still get, because I mean, you still ain't gonna get nothing in there on more than, with the setbacks no more than 30 foot wide. you know? So the whole intentions of the 30-foot wide, and then by the time you've got your other stuff, even with the setbacks, that still leaves you enough room for 80 to 100. So if you went in there and built a 30 by 80, it would be no different than someone bought it, left it residential, and went in there and built a big 30 by 80 garage. It makes no difference.
No, no, what I'm saying is that, so depending on how you're gonna look at your front yard, you're gonna have to be, you've gotta be 50 foot. Your building has to be 50 foot from that front yard. So if your front yard is gonna be sand dollar, I don't know that you have 50 feet to then build a building, because your rear has to be 30 feet.
Well, then you wouldn't come in that way. You would come in the
other
other
way.
way.
So if Blue Look is your front, though, you still have a problem with the
width.
The width. So have you, I guess that's what I'm asking, have you looked at these? Have you, it could be, you know, I mean, I don't know, have you also tried to go to the Board of Adjustments and get, for at least residential, to
Well,
get
I
an
haven't done
exception to that?
none of that yet, because I'm in the process. I started with the county. The county approved it, and now I'm here talking to the city.
No, I know, I just meant, had you, before you started the rezoning, had you looked at possibly building a single-family home and looking to go into the Board of Adjustments to get some exceptions made for that property and the requirements
No.
of that? Okay, I was just kind of
No.
curious where we
So
were.
the math doesn't work for you, according to what zoning has for their regulations, that's in the paperwork that they sent us, where they
Right.
approved this for you. If you, the only place you can put your frontage would be on Blue Lake.
Okay.
So your sides have to be 25 foot. I don't know how far you have to be off of the ditch on Sand Dollar. There's a certain amount you have to be off.
On the easement?
I do not know what that footage is.
Are you talking about
Okay,
an
because
easement, or are you
got
talking?
Your easement, your ditch,
I don't know
everything
what that
else.
is. I know the
don't
side yard is 25
So
feet.
it's only 65 feet wide, so you take 25 off of that, that leaves you 40 feet, and then how much is that setback for your easement gonna be?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is they're gonna,
Well, that's
narrow-
25 feet from both structures, so that's 25 feet
well,
from,
there's no structure on Sand Dollar.
okay,
Right.
but you still got an easement, right?
Right, so.
You can't be on top of the road.
I'm just saying that you need to look, if we invest too much more money, you need to look at the fact that with whatever that easement requirement's gonna be in your 25 foot, you may not be able to make your building deep enough, wide enough to do what you're wanting without first seeing if you can get a variance.
Well, I mean, if need be, I mean, I can go back and change it to B2. There is no setbacks in B2. I mean, because there's not. There is no setbacks in B2. Because I have another piece of property here in Shepherdsville that I just bought and purposely left it B2 for that reason. Because I can build on the property line. So, I mean, if need be, I can jump through hoops and jumping jacks and all kinds of things, and I'll go back if I have to. If you all don't want to do this for me, I can go back and change it to B2, and then the setbacks are thrown out the window. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my property and I want to develop it.
Well, I understand that, but, so this is what I tell the council, and you're asking for this, so you need to know if there's a statute, KRS statute that says if you want to change the zoning, there's only 3 ways you can get it done. And as a property owner, it's not fun. The first is if the change that you want to make is already in the comp plan, in the comprehensive plan. So like, let's say, you know, they're redoing the comprehensive plan, but we've got one. They've got current use and then they got future use. Some of these, they come in, what they're asking for, that was what the future use they had marked. Then that means it meets the comp plan. If it doesn't, like in this situation, the future use for that area is not business, it's still residential. So if anyone wants to change that, there's only 2 ways. One, you have to show that the current zoning is inappropriate and that the requested zoning is appropriate. So that's one way. Or you have to show that there has been significant changes of a physical, social, or economical nature in the area that was not anticipated when the comp plan was done.
Well,
That has substantially
now.
that has substantially altered the area. So I wanted to kind of like, that's what in part, the council, and really the planning commission also has to, look to. So, anyway, that's kind of the standard. I wanted to let you know that. I understand that you're the property owner, and that's where, but you live around other property owners, and they bought property when this was zoned a certain way. So, you gotta kind of balance this conflict, right? It's my property, I wanna do what I want, but there's other property owners that bought when they anticipated it being something, and so the law is trying to balance the two.
But you missed what Bonnie said.
I know that there's a property down the
There's a
street.
property that's not even a third of a mile, maybe less than a third of a mile, that was developed, cut out, cleaned up for commercial development of storage units. I could stand on my property and throw a rock down there and hit it. So, Bonnie just sat there and told you, and I wasn't aware of that till Bonnie just made that. So the change that you're talking about has already happened.
Well, I guess, so your argument would be that because that one property was rezoned, that's a major change?
Oh, sure, because it's a big piece of property.
Okay.
There's at least 4 or 5 acres right there.
Okay.
A big.
I'm just,
It has.
do what?
My daughter bought the property next door, it's still zoned residential, according to all the documentation.
So
That
the-
big property is still residential.
There is a property that was rezoned in 2017 to B1.
Yeah.
I don't know what,
If it's the one next door to Sophie, it's.
I don't know. It was at, I can tell you, it's 258 West Blue Lick
Yeah.
is the
And
address.
that's 506 West Blue Lake, so you're
It's
real close.
258 West Blue Lick, and that was done in 2017.
I was gonna say, they still have it on the property, but it's just R2.
Okay, well, at any rate,
So Jeff, my concern with this is, as we mentioned, when you showed me the property, okay, obviously it's sitting there, it's not appealing. I did not have a problem with progress and that being there. My concern was the water. It will always be the concern of water for those folks that are gonna come up here in a minute and talk. The biggest thing that has to be resolved in that, and again, you're nodding your head, okay, I've gotta hold you to that because the developments here in the city over the last decade, somebody got up here and nodded their head like that, and they basically didn't do what they need to do around. I can give you another storage place on 44 that I'm dealing with, okay? And that's, yep, and so that's part of the issue. The council has that concern is, listen, we do appreciate it's your property, and I do want you to develop it. I want you to keep in consideration, you got neighbors around you that you've gotta have some respect for, how you'll build that on. Yes, you can come back and we can do this dancing over, but the key for us is that if you develop something there, if you'll keep that piece in mind, and we see that in the engineer designs and everything, that water's going to go underneath 44 and go into that drainage, then you've got a friend. Otherwise, these folks back here are gonna be dealing with the consequences of you building that development there. That's the concern that I have.
Well, I don't have problems because I know you had told me that the future drainage is coming there.
It's coming.
Like I said, I don't have to run and do it tomorrow. Shepherdsville is up and coming. That's the reason why I bought another piece of property that you met me on that I'm gonna clean up and build a building on.
No, listen, and for you all up here, I really appreciate that piece. I went and saw both properties. You're taking one in an area that really needs some help, and and that area is gonna be developed in that. That's all in that area on the other side of Arby's and all that, on that side, Carpenter and all that.
On Carpenter and Hester
Yeah,
Street.
you're gonna
I
see a
bought
lot of that being
half-acre
developed in
lot
the
right
business
there
'cause
that
it
I'm
fits
getting
it.
ready
You
to
can
build
see it. It's
one of those
changing.
buildings on.
The unique thing about the property that you have there at Sand Dollar is that you do still have residential around there. As long as that piece is respected and how you design that, that's the piece that I concern myself with.
Right, and I just showed you all it's gonna be tasteful, it's not gonna be, nothing nasty. It's, in my opinion, something needs to happen there, other than, because, nobody's, if that be the case, then I might as well just go build a house in there or something, or, cause, it was it's still zoned R3.
Well, that'd be my next question, Jeff. You didn't really consider building just a house or a duplex or something there instead?
Well, I've considered that.
Okay.
I've considered that, but I'd rather go this way.
Do you think there's a stronger need for this than residential housing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the junkyard's right down the street.
Well-
The industrial park's right around the corner. You know what I mean? Everything around it, the school's right across the street, which is federal property.
Well,
But that is residential public.
It might be, but
That's
it
not-
still
that's not-
is.
you're
There's
acting
a
like
trailer
it's
park
not
across the
residential.
street
It's
from it.
considered
There's an
residential.
industrial park right there. There's a future development right down the street. everything around it screams what I'm trying to do instead of residential.
But you're on a
Right.
residential street.
The problem is you can point in any direction and eventually find something where it's commercial.
Yeah, but it's close. It's close though. That's the difference.
Well, the
It's
industrial
super
park you're
close.
talking about is like Saltwell Court. That was designed decades ago as an industrial park. I mean, but the immediate area where you're at has been residential for at least 40 years.
Well, I know that
It's-
used to be the old fairground, so at one time that was whatever it was. I mean, I know a lot about the property. I mean, I've owned it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I used to live off West Blue Lick. I mean, it has not changed. It's been a 2-lane road as long as I've lived here.
Right.
All those houses, I mean, all that area through there has always been residential.
Right, and I respect what you're saying, but
Right.
there's an industrial park, not even a third of a mile from that on the left right there. Plus, there's a trailer park instead of apartments. I mean,
But that's
Bullock
residential.
County
A
EMS
trailer
is
park
over
is
in there.
residential.
Okay.
That's not
But the trailer park
industrial.
was built inside of an industrial park, I mean, I didn't design it.
He's talking about Saltwell, it's all that area.
Yeah, I'm talking about Saltwell,
Yeah.
all that stuff right there.
So here's the thing, okay? So, first of all, any more questions? I would like to see the residents come up and actually speak for a few minutes here. Jeff, here's what we're gonna do. We obviously, this is the reason why we have a public notice today, so they can make their opinions known as well as yours. This council can look over that. We've got a number for you, I believe we do. I need to
Well,
make sure.
don't leave, because
I
the
know.
public hearing's not over.
No, I know.
and
I didn't ask him to leave. I
If
just
he
want-
wants to ask questions of you or vice versa, then
He's
that's
not
allowed.
going anywhere.
I know, well, you're wrapping it up.
I'm not wrapping him up. I'd like to let them speak a little
Yes.
bit, okay?
Yes.
All right, anyway, so Jeff, I do want to make sure I get a number for you. Jeff? I do want to make sure we'll get a number for you so these folks can reach out to you, because they may have more questions. I think that's the key. Let them actually keep more questions about things they see in this.
That's fine, I'll go out my truck, get some cards.
Okay? No, he's not leaving. He's not leaving.
I'd like to talk to him after this.
Okay. Would you come on up here for a minute? State your name and your address, please.
My name's Noah Miller. My address is 506 West Blue Lick.
Uh-huh.
I hope y'all don't let this go through, because I live at the house right next to that the
Yes, sir.
property technically used to be with, and, well, I actually went up and talked to a handful of people that live on Sand Dollar, and they don't agree with it either. I've talked to, well, me and my wife actually went and talked to him the other day, and I actually told them when the meeting was so that they could come and where it was at, but a lot of them don't have, the 2 people I did talk to back there, I know for a fact they said their cars are broke down.
Mhm.
And,
It is low income parking there.
yeah, they're
They're all
rentable
rental houses.
homes,
They're
they're
rental.
income based, and I know in the last, board meeting or whatever, he said that there's a need for storage units, but now he's veering off from something else, kinda like where, what I'm picturing in my brain over by, Bell's Mill, up on the hill, where you got Mike's Custom Coatings, you got
Yeah.
Chrome
Yes,
Shop,
that's
all
what
that
he
stuff.
That's
showed
what he
us.
showed us.
Where's the parking?
Right.
You're not gonna be able to put a parking lot in front of it. I mean, if you do, I might as well sell my house because before it even starts, because and y'all want to live next to it. My house will be literally a tin can. I couldn't sell it for $50. That's the way I look at it. And we do plan on having kids. We don't have none right now. Got a dog, but
That's a kid.
yeah, it was today's his birthday. Yeah,
All
today's
right.
his birthday.
All right.
So he got a birthday cake, and we do plan on having kids. And I mean, I kind of starting up my own business here, and let me tell you, it's nowhere near where I'm working at or living at right now. So if he wants to use the concrete business as an ordeal, well, I started a welding company. So what if I have a welder in my garage and I open my garage and somebody's like, oh, he's welding out of there. So do I have to be zone B2 or B1 because I got a welder in my garage? Or, I got pallets of wire sitting there for my welder? I don't think so. And plus, there's people that live in that house next door. It's, I think it's 2 gentlemen, and I'm guessing their mom. They don't really speak too good English, but they do cook good. So I got to say. But, I mean, yeah, they cooked a pig, and it was nice. Even my uncle, who he spent some time in the military over there in, I think, Iraq or something like that, and he was like, it's really good. So, and what you said about, making sure that the community is better for the children, I don't see that being beneficial to any of them kids down that street. Whether you got West Blue Lick entrance by my driveway or Sand Dollar Court. Because the one house that's literally right across, that'd be basically parallel or adjacent to it, there is 3 kids that play right there. And that's literally where I talked to their mom at, is right there by the Angela Home sign in the front. And then you got,
Very little kids.
yeah, I mean, they're,
Very little kids.
you know, they're maybe 4, 5, 6 years old. And then you also got kids that walk up and down the street that walk home from not elementary, but middle school and stuff like that. And, you know, people, yeah, I mean, so I don't see that this would be beneficial to anywhere in Shepherdsville. Yeah, you got the industrial park down the street, but it's hidden, not right up against somebody's house or right in a small neighborhood where kids play all the time. The trailer park, they play down the street like Sand Dollar Court. If you look at it, it's a street. They play down the street. They don't come out or nothing like that. But then the neighborhood on the apartment complex, they play in the apartment complex. They don't go out or nothing like that. So basically where they would be playing is right in the middle of all that.
Noah,
So-
do you know how many kids live, approximately how many kids live on Sand Dollar Street?
Oh my God, I can't even keep count. I would say maybe
I know
20.
that 16 kids are actually school-age kids. As far as,
And
10
this
of
is
them.
on Sand Dollar
This is
Street?
on
Where did
just
you get this
Sand
information?
Sand Dollar?
The
Yeah.
schools.
The
I got
lady
it
that
from
lives
Bullitt County
directly
Public
behind me,
Schools.
I know she has
And she
two
said
little
that's-
two little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, the one, she has 2
yeah.
that are before school age. I do know there's.
Yeah, so
only-
she stays home 90% of the time.
So, Noah, does that sound about right, that there could be 16 to 20 kids that live
Yeah,
in
I
Sand
believe
Dollar?
it because I mean,
Okay.
you know, I got a dirt bike around my yard and stuff like that. So I mean, I'll go out on the street and turn around and I'll see them playing up and down the road, and you know, so I believe it.
And that corner at Sand Dollar and West Blue Lake, that is the bus stop. And that
Yes.
bus stop is each elementary, middle, high school. And then. when
There
they
are a
come
few
back-
high schoolers that live
yeah,
back there, I think.
Yeah, there's 4 children that are.
I don't get
in
home
high
early
school.
enough to see them get off
Yeah.
the bus no more, but
Okay.
The-
Do you know who you talked to at the board? Do you get a name just for our reference?
Sandy,
Okay.
I think is her name. And then I talked to the Department of the Bullitt County Transportation, to find out if they had bus stops there.
Okay.
And they do, there's 3, they do the 3, well, and she said the bus stops on West Blue Lake at every intersection,
now
because of the busyness of the street.
another thing, talking about how it's overgrown and stuff, I take care of the property. I told Jeff when we signed paperwork on the house, I told him, I said, look, I'll keep the grass mowed and all that stuff if you let me park my trailer on it and stuff like that. You know, I did have a car trailer, but that stays at my shop now, but my enclosed that I use for my motorcycles and stuff, it stays on the property with me now. But with the trees and stuff like that, I'm not gonna go in here and bush hog, but where I can mow grass, because like the lady that lives behind me, she actually asked me 2 days ago, Saturday, to if I could mow a little further back onto her property line, because the mow agency that they have doesn't cut it, because they're like, oh, that's not our property, and they stay, you know, a few feet. So I went and mowed back there because they're like, hey, you know, we got little girls. I said, that's fine. I said, I'll go back there and mow it. You know, if you're worried about snakes, I'll whack it all down. I don't care. So I went back there and I hit it, you know, and I do the best I can to take care of it and keep the grass mowed. I mean, it looks like a golf course now, but I mean, there's not so much. I'm not going to go in there with a hedgehog and, you know, chainsaws and start cutting down trees. You know, it is technically nature. It's woods. It's gonna grow up, but and when come wintertime, you can see directly through it, like a, I don't know. I was gonna say chain link fence, I guess, but you know. So, and I would be open to buying it from Jeff.
That was my next thing. Maybe there's an opportunity. I don't know where that's at.
We never got to talk number because whenever I called, and yes, I know I did offer substantially lower, but it is a flood zone. So I talked to an appraiser, and he said what I would offer was very, very generous for it. So and he was like, I don't even know where you got that number. I said, just off the top of my head. And, you know, I called, and him and his wife on the phone, they both laughed at me, so I just left it at that. I said, good luck. And you see where we're at now. 2 years later, it still ain't been sold. And I'm going to say I would benefit from it, actually. Yeah, I mean, it'd raise my property value and stuff like that, which I could really care less about, you know. I'm about to be 25, I don't really, that's not my forte right now, you know, I just wanna be able to enjoy life and stuff like that. So, but I would be open to buying it if we could talk numbers.
I think you two might have a conversation. I'm not sure where that's all gonna go, Jeff, but I can tell you that.
He got smart with my wife, so she won't sell it to him. And besides that, the property tax, the value of the property, and I mean, Catherine's been a realtor, she knows, the taxable value of the property. I
You
think
wasn't even paying taxes on it for 2
Okay,
years.
okay,
was
okay.
26
All right.
or $7,000 the taxable value. So I'm not gonna take no less than that being the city of Shepherdsville, but he said he wasn't feeling it.
All right,
He
so,
feel it now.
Jeff, now that's, okay, we're not gonna have,
I didn't get smart with nobody.
hold on, so we're not gonna have that here. I'm just gonna tell you right now, council, do you have any questions more for Noah first? All right? Do you
And
have
we
any-
can go round and round with B2 too, I don't care.
No, all right, so, do you have any other questions for Jeff?
Where does, where did it, if this is approved, where is he gonna run the back of the building along Sand Dollar?
I'll do whatever I have to.
No, I'm saying, is that your plan?
Right, I mean, I'll do whatever I have to do to develop it.
And my house will be up for sale.
Okay.
And another thing I got from, the school, the school board and transportation, there is a special needs child on Sand Dollar, so there has to be, the bus has to go to the house. It cannot pick up on the end of the street, so their concern was how that would affect getting the bus down, like, are they gonna be street parking, because they can't have street parking on that street.
There's street parking all, you go down that street right now, there's cars parked everywhere.
School's not in session right now, but it's not,
Right.
it's not for me to say anything about it, I'm just telling you what I was told.
Building ain't gonna be built in the middle of the road.
All right,
Okay, so we don't have any more questions for Noah. Do we have any more questions for Jeff?
No.
Okay.
Nope, he does. And he does.
Oh,
Jeff, was there ever a house on this property?
No, at one time, that whole entire property was owned by the gentleman, who had I guess the first pawn shop or whatever that's here in Shepherdsville. The Army surplus store that was right behind the old, or right beside the old city Shepherdsville. Yes,
So the taxable value right now is $30,000, right?
on that property,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it had the sale prices $170,000 in 2019.
That was because of the title mess up, and I actually owned all 3 lots for probably about a good first year or 6 months or so. And
No, he didn't own them. It was a glitch that someone had screwed up, and
the
they
title
had
agency
to.
came to my house and had me sign
redo it.
paperwork to sign it back to Jeff. And
So they were including your house in with that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
and then let's see, I was paying property tax on it for what, 2 years now? Technically, there was no property tax getting paid on it because
It
the
was
way
all
the
with
PBA
yours.
office says I owned all of it.
Oh, okay, so you were paying the property taxes on it?
Technically.
Inadvertently, or?
Technically,
But we weren't paying extra.
but yeah, they valued all 3 lots at $170,000. And then whenever I went and got that changed at the PBA,
But that's not how it was. The house was sold, I think the house was sold by itself. Like I said, Catherine's been a realtor, she knows all about realty. She knows when the market got hot and when things was going crazy. I think we sold it for $170,000 or whatever it was that we sold it.
that's what he's
for.
saying. He was just saying that because of the title error, what happened is they put that lot on it. So it
They
was all,
didn't appraise they appraised that house with the house in lot 1.
that's not what he's saying. He's not saying that it was appraised different. He's saying that at the point of title, not at the point of appraisal, at the point of title,
Well, the title
that it
company
was,
screwed that
that
up.
it was done incorrectly. And so
Yeah.
they just admitted they did not pay more in taxes because the house was
Yeah.
appraised that.
The
They
title
were
company
just
screwed that up.
saying that for 2 years there was, because of how it was, there was basically no
wasn't 2
separate
years.
taxes on that, or however long that was.
It wasn't 2 years.
So-
It wasn't even 6 months.
But that's really not relevant to the issue of rezoning. I mean, it's an interesting backstory, but it's not really pertinent to the question before the council. Are there any other questions that anyone has of Jeff?
I did ask, and he said he would, he would be willing to do whatever. If this proceeds with a B1, there are certain setbacks. He mentioned that he could go to B2, and if I recall, he said there would not be setbacks.
Right, there is no setbacks on B2.
Okay, all right. So if there would be front and back restrictions if it stays B1, which would, as I envision, pretty much put your development pretty much in the center of the property.
Yeah.
If you have no restrictions on a B2, which I don't know if there are none or just less limited, I can't tell you. If it went to B2 and you had no restrictions, where would you put the back of the building? It would have to, in my opinion, the best use would either be up against their property or as close to Sand Dollar as you could possibly get.
I would
That's
still
what I
be
see.
in, regardless if it's B1 or B2, I'm still gonna be in the middle. Because, I mean, you gotta have
Okay.
room to pull stuff and move stuff, and I mean, I'm not that cruel
So no
to
matter,
shove
well, I'm
something
just simply
against
saying
somebody.
it's use of land, what you build. So you're saying that no matter if it's on B1 or B2, your plan is to build pretty much in the center of the property?
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, to answer your question, no, there are no restrictions in B2. But he would have to go back and get that rezoned to B2. He couldn't just, B1 doesn't give you the B2 rezoning, so just, so there you go. All right, any other questions? Jeff, anything else? All right, no, anything else on your part?
Well, I mean, the only thing that I have was gonna say is, I mean, the people that actually own Sand Dollar Court, they're not in here complaining. And the reason being is because, I mean, that's a government-owned entity. All of Sand Dollar Court is. I mean, I don't know, a property management company owns that.
That's why
I mean, they rent it out as low-income homes, so that's the reason why they're not here complaining.
And every single home has its own storage unit behind it also. But he's not building storage units.
So, no, I mean, I don't have nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Get cards for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
did.
what I'm
I
digging
think
for.
we are,
Digging for, it's almost supper time, you know?
Kentucky, me too.
It's almost supper time.
It's a big conference.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It does have rear side.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
That's
I'm
what
sure
I
it's
say,
okay.
thank you.
He was just talking about that ours.
There you go, Miss Bonnie. Thank you.
Do we send, how did we notify the area?
We don't.
Just the newspaper, right?
Yeah, we just do the
So-
public hearing. We don't have to do the.
I was gonna say, cause
notice.
Homeland, the people who actually are property managers of Angela Homes, they're out of like Litchfield. So they would not have known about
They
this.
get a letter from the county.
They get a letter from the county when it first goes to planning commission.
Yes,
But they don't get
but
one
they
about
didn't
the
get one
city.
from us.
No.
No, because that's where it originates.
Right.
They're not gonna care about property value like I'm going to.
No, all that's.
No, and actually they do, because it determines how much rent that they can charge, for people on Section 8. If the property values go up in the area, they can charge more rent, and, I mean, so it all it works the same for them that it would any other property owner, so, yeah.
All right. We good?
Okay, that concludes the public hearing.
All right. Thank you all. No, appreciate you coming, Jeff. Thank you all for coming in.
All right.
All right?
Next up.
Yes. All right. You gonna read or deal?
No, I'm gonna read the ordinance
No, I'm sorry.
21,
Are we reading that? That's the,
repealing of
Brad, is
the,
that the one you wanted to say something about?
repealing of the animal.
What's that?
Yeah, before we do the first reading on the animal, I had a constituent that called, and she was asking, she didn't really get a chance to look at it really well. I explained to her what the intent was. She agrees with the intent, but she thinks it might be beneficial if we delay it a couple of weeks.
Is she talking about the repeal or the other one?
The actual, the replacement ordinance.
Okay, well, they're very different. So we need to, no matter what we decide to do with the cell, we do need to repeal the animal. We don't even have an animal control officer.
That's fine.
We can't even do most of the stuff that we have.
That's
That's
perfect.
So,
Hold off.
What's that?
We can hold off, that's good.
If you would do that, I'd be very grateful.
okay, so we're not gonna do the first reading of 22.
Yeah, I would
The
like
one,
I would like to table that until,
Okay.
The next meeting, please.
absolutely. Do we want, my recommendation is we still need to repeal chapter 92.
Yeah, we can.
So we can still move forward with that if y'all are okay, okay.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
All right, so ordinance 024021, an ordinance repealing chapter 92 of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances related to animals in its entirety, sponsored by Councilmember Faith Portman. Summary, section 1 sets forth that chapter 92 of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances related to animals is repealed in its entirety. Section 2 sets forth the severability clause. Section 3 sets forth the repeal of prior ordinances in conflict with this ordinance. Section 4 sets forth the publication requirement. Yeah, because this talks about them having to get spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and the fees. And Kentucky law has changed, and unless we have our own animal control officer, we can't even enforce
And
those.
the county has one.
We can't rely on the county anymore. That's what we used to do, and we cannot rely. They're like, nope. Probably because the county got tired of enforcing ours.
Well, I think they actually use another county now,
They may. I don't know.
Nelson, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll read the second reading on that, and then we'll do the first reading on, Brad, Council, Mr. Council, on the 22.
Yep.
We'll read that on the first reading on the next meeting, okay? All right.
So going to the hearing on the ordinance, we will either need to do an ordinance. So the planning commission's reasoning for their recommendation, as you guys know, does not meet the statutory requirements that I just laid out to him. So if we're gonna rezone, we're gonna have to make our own findings of fact, meeting those statutory requirements, or we can, or you all, not we, I don't make any of these decisions, or you all can override their recommendation. And you can override it based on your own findings, or you can override it simply based on the fact that they didn't make the correct findings.
Yeah, I guess the discrepancy is in what he said was a storage place versus what now we're hearing today.
Right.
It seems like, I don't know what, I wasn't at the planning and zoning, so I don't know if anybody was there, but that's the key. I mean, I'm not sure how they presented it, but I'm gonna reach out to somebody from planning and zoning, reach out to Jeremy and listen, and what he tells me what they presented at that meeting. Because if you read this thing, he's got a favorable reading, an 8-4 vote. And then if you read it, it sounds like it's saying that everything in that area is becoming commercial, but not enough, close enough to me.
I think there's plenty of reasons to disagree.
Yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair, that's more than fair. I just think it's important that we go back to them and go, okay, what exactly did you come up with this for? And, you know, I wanna hear from Jeremy about this, so I'm gonna reach out to
Jennifer
him.
had 16 good reasons.
Yeah, there's no, I think that is a critical piece. I mean, obviously, the property that's gonna sit there, so we'll, obviously, you know, you got cards from,
Yep.
anything else you wanna reach out to him, go back with the
Maybe
property.
we ought to buy it and put a.
So,
There you go.
put a what?
Put a basketball court or playground.
So, I guess, at some point, somebody will need to reach out to me, and let me know what kind of an ordinance you want me to write for the first reading at the next meeting. Okay?
What's it?
So, and we can have conflicting, by the way. We can have one ordinance that says no and one ordinance that says yes, and then you vote on both. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if somebody calls me and says, I want to rezone it, and then somebody calls and says, no, I want an ordinance.
I'll send you an email with my stuff. Everybody should just send her an email with whatever they have.
Yeah, if you
for
feel
or
strongly,
against,
yeah.
For whatever reasons.
Absolutely.
Thank you for guessing that.
Okay. So,
Right here. We got it.
the last thing that I want to talk about, and you all hopefully won't hear my voice for the rest of this meeting, is this is our upcoming special meeting on the bid. So I had a Zoom conference last Friday?
Very
Friday.
important.
I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday, because I think it was after we got all of this situated, and then the people at Hagerman wanted to call me, make sure we were all on the same page and we had a system. Because here's what I have learned, and it's very enlightening, and our municipal order, they can work with it, but it does throw a glitch. So 2 questions why we couldn't have the bids opened at this meeting. One, the bids were not in yet. Everybody had requested, especially the local contractors had requested an extension, that was granted. But the other reason, and this is what's gonna be happening moving forward, the other reason is that, especially on these larger projects and dealing with, more money and I think bigger companies, their industry standard is that these bids get, the deadline is during a weekday, normal business hours, because they hand deliver and then they want to see all the bids open and read. Because what they don't want to happen is we say, okay, your bid deadline is 2 o'clock on Tuesday, but we're going to read them at Wednesday, and somebody be able to sneak their bid in between that 2 o'clock on Tuesday and when we're going to read it on Wednesday. That's why they're there. Like, they are going to be here. So our municipal order requires these to be opened at a city council meeting, and they don't have to be read, just opened, and then we can hand it off to them, which is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna literally open it, I'm gonna say who it's from, I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna hand it to Mike with Hagerman. I don't, this is gonna be very complicated. I don't know that I would understand these numbers because they can fill out 20 different bid parts. So I don't know if he's gonna read it in here, because it'll take, he said if he reads all these numbers to us, it'll take 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
So they're gonna do a spreadsheet.
So what they're gonna do is, we're gonna have a special meeting. I'm gonna open them, so that way it's gonna be 10 or 15 minutes. But right after that, right here, he's then going to read all of these numbers to all of them, so you all can stay and listen to all the numbers. It just won't be an official city council meeting, but it is a public meeting. But here's the biggest thing going forward. So we're gonna have more bids coming in for this project down the road. He tried to tell me what it was for, and I was like, I don't know, I just need to know if we're gonna have more bids and go through this process again. I know we're gonna have it for the city park, I know we're gonna have it for the sewer expansion, where we hire this outside company to seek out these bids and, review them, because, right, we're not experts in how to build a pool or how to really build a park. We wanna hire kind of a general manager. So if this municipal order stays in place, what we're gonna have to do is, when we know that they're getting ready to send out the advertisement and say when the bids are due, we're going to have to, and it's gonna have to be a special meeting, because there's no way we can do this during a regular meeting. We're gonna have a special meeting, and you guys are gonna have to know that. You guys are gonna have to agree to it, and then you're gonna have to be committed to being here, because we can't consistently change, right? Like, if we've gotta have it at a city council meeting, that means minimum 4 of you will have to be present to do that.
We need to know when those bids are due.
None
of us knew that.
Well, let me explain. Part of that was
I
because.
did, I seen it in the papers.
So we would know, what I'm saying is, before they even send out the advertisement, we would come here and say, okay, they're wanting to send out the advertisement, they need this, so we're gonna need the bid deadline needs to be somewhere around here. What day and time? During business hours, unfortunately. Nobody's gonna wanna come at 6 o'clock at night and stay till 9 reading these numbers. And that's not what's anticipated. That's not their normal, and I'm not talking about Hagerman, I'm talking about the subcontractors that make the bid. So, what I'm saying is, it would be, okay, hey guys, we're gonna be advertising for this next round. We're gonna give them 4 weeks. So it'll take 2 weeks to get in the paper. So in about 6 to 7 weeks, when can you all do a special meeting, Monday through Friday, between 9, they like to start them no later than 2, preferably. That way they can really be done by the normal close of business. Right. So I guess what I'm saying is, if we keep this municipal order in place, that is the commitment to make this flow with the future how we're doing this, that's the commitment we need from you all. Now, the other thing is, when they open these bids, even though it's not a city council meeting, they open them in public. Anybody can attend them. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you need to know when that would be, but, we could certainly provide you all that date. So it's just something for you all to think about. We can, I'm not really for sure. Like, I did ask him, he works, so Hagerman, the company, they work with a lot of governmental entities, because governments are the ones that require the bid process, the most. And he said this is the first time in his, I don't even know how many years he said, that he's encountered where there's been an ordinance or a statute or whatever that requires it to be done this way. And they're very nice. They're absolutely willing to work with us. It just was a little different for them. So I don't really know why that municipal order got put in place. I don't know.
Was it 18?
It was 2018. I don't know if
Well, it was actually in place before that, a long time ago.
I just know that
Maybe it wasn't in
2018.
place, but it was something that they did. I don't
Maybe.
remember, because it's been a long time. I know when I first came on, in 2006 maybe, or 7, I came on, and they were doing, anything that was bid on was open here first. And then for a while, somebody stopped it, and that's when they passed the ordinance to put it back in.
I think when
I
you're,
think that we need to talk about it some more and see about whether it needs to be certain levels of money that we, if it goes above this point, then we have some kind of agreement where we do it differently. Lower amounts that bids that we take on that we can still just do here, because it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, there's a day-to-day operation bidding process that we have to have, right? But when it comes to the complexity of some of the things that we're doing here, this is what Catherine's trying to tell you guys. What Hagerman had a chance to tell her last week in this meeting was that whole process and how intense it is not something that in our profession. And what happens is you guys have approved the monies for this. And that's where the key is that what you want to, no worries, no worries.
Hey, call
Be
me.
careful, Jennifer, okay? All right, be careful. The biggest piece in this is that, there's a flow to all this. They want to see it happen at a certain schedule for all this. So that's how business works. So business wants to have things moving along. The government, in its well intentions of watching taxpayers' money, the reason you run into this is that they're trying to move things along. It just continues to, remember, the longer it goes, the more money it costs. Think of it like that, because businesses will, if they keep waiting on us to approve each time it goes down, you're gonna see the expenses continue to rocket. And that's what they're trying to tell us, is that we got a schedule, we know what we're doing, you've approved the money to do it. Just keep you guys, both the public and the council, opening these bids, so there's a fair process with that bidding. That's the piece they want you to see, that this is being out in the public, that you guys can see who gets that bid, right?
and you all will still see all the bids, even if we don't, no matter what, you guys will still see all the bids and have access to all the bids. And, if it wasn't having to be opened at a city council meeting, if you guys wanted to come while Mr. Hagerman opened them, because he opens them, the reason why it takes a little bit longer is he opens them, he reads them, but he's also kind of organizing them and putting down the numbers and stuff. So, they're not just opening them and going, okay, we got this bid and tossing it. I mean, they are reading that away. All the subcontractors know what every other subcontractor bid. They know the amount, all of that. So nothing's done in secret. I think that maybe what was happening, especially on these professional, I mean, if you've got a company like Hagerman opening the bids, that's what they do. Nothing is done in secret. I think probably, almost 20 years ago, I think things were done a lot different. I think when the city was handling the bids themselves, and maybe that could be the distinction, for bids that the city has, maybe, I don't know how to word it, because we're not really I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the city's decision, but, if we've got a company that's handling the bids, then maybe we go, okay, we let them handle it. If we don't have a company that's handling the bids, then maybe we do open those at the city council
So
meeting.
one of the things too to add to this, we sign contracts on estimated costs. There's contingencies put in there, all that in there. So we have a number that they're shooting for. If there's not a number that's gonna be hit there, that becomes something we discuss, okay?
I agree with the idea that we've not had projects this large that we needed something like this done. So I think that we can, for the future, make some kind of a change that says that if we've got an outside company that's gonna handle the bids for us, then we can come and watch that, and then get our spreadsheet so that we can make our decision from it, so we can at least be here to see it. You know, if we had that opportunity instead of the meeting. And then continue with all the bids that we handle ourselves, continue to be opened here in front of everybody.
Well, because what's gonna happen, Hagerman's gonna make a recommendation to us. After they've done their work with it, after they get them all in, they're gonna make a recommendation to the city. Okay, at that point, even though we voted for Yoakum to do it, that's not the way the process works. Okay, to keep transparency, I've tried to keep you guys in the loop. That actually decision is made by me. When they make a recommendation, we make that because we've already signed a contract for that. The key is I want you guys to see the numbers. I want you to see the companies bidding. I need you to see all that. We're gonna listen. I'm going to, before I would ever make a decision like that, I'm gonna hear from you guys. If there's really concerns about it, I'm gonna listen. Because I do want us to be a partner in this, because this is what we are doing since we started all this, right? That's the key in this. But if you don't keep this, it really will. That's what I think Hagerman's kind of politely telling us. We're gonna see all the bids. We're gonna see everybody that's out there, and the key is from it, they're gonna give us, and that's why we've got them here doing this. We pick them to give us the best vendor, that pick the best price, because that's important to us. I mean, we can't go over these numbers. We've been really trying to keep this in place. And if we continue this process and it gets delayed, that's where their concern is, because they can't guarantee the numbers we're gonna rate on expenses. That's a key. I mean, I'm telling you, it is. Bonnie, you're right. This is something bigger than we've ever done at a council level. This is a big deal, okay? And it's exciting when we approved that $30 million check. But all of this is in sequence of that money that we projected out that's in this budget actually has what we think we're gonna spend this year of that money. And then the final year will be with the last of it to finish everything off in 2026, okay?
So let me ask you all this. There's only 4 people that can attend this special meeting. Brad's out of town and Jennifer is also out of town. Would you all be willing, and you all can still come, but would you all be willing to consider, and because this is a municipal order, you can just make a motion, that this bid that we're having on Thursday does not have to be done at the city council meeting. It can just move forward as a public meeting opening a bid. And here's why I'm asking you all to consider that. 1, you guys have already committed to coming, you can still come. But 2, God forbid, if something happens to any one of you all, we can't do it.
Right.
We can't open those bids. And the mayor does not count, even though he can break tiebreakers, he does not count for a quorum. So I'd like for you all to consider that option for just this meeting, and then we can figure out a grand plan, or a better plan long-term that can be more. But you all would still, as far as I know, it's gonna be in this room, or it's gonna be at City Hall, so maybe they'll move it to a different room if it's not gonna be a.
I was open to the public, so it depends who wants to do it.
But I'm just throwing that out there, because if some happens and only one of you all can't make it, that's gonna mess, I don't even know what that's gonna do to the bid process.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Mike? Thank you.
We'd make an exception for this one.
So this bidding
You're
needs.
gonna make a motion to make an exception to Municipal Order 2018-02, requiring the bids to be opened at a city council meeting. You are going to make an exception for the bids that are to be opened by Hagerman on June 13th at 4 p.m. That they'll still be open at June 13th at 4 p.m., but it won't be at a city council meeting. It'll just be a.
It's just not gonna require quorum.
Okay, so.
And we could be here, but we don't have to.
In the past, I'm used to, if we have a project and we have 3 or 4 bids, and I think I spoke with Scott and Arthur at the tail end of the conversation the other day. The fact that you opened a bid and you say contractor ABC bids X number of dollars for this project.
Well, I'm not gonna be able to say that on this, because the way that they bid, I'm probably not going to really understand. So here's how it's gonna happen, instead of me doing it, because I don't bid out, first of all, he's already told me I'm gonna have probably at least 80 envelopes to open. 80 envelopes. This is a big job.
Excuse me, why 80?
Because If they, so they're building, so if they wanna bid on, my understanding is, if they wanna bid on one part of the project, that's a set bid. If they wanna, and then if they wanna bid on another one, another part, that's a separate one. And down the line we go, and I think there was 20 different parts that could be bid on. 20 different items. But I don't, this is not what I do for today. I mean, it was a whole spreadsheet. I sort of wish I had asked them to email it to me so that you guys could see it. But what's gonna happen is, that's what, I think it's gonna be Mike, I'm not for sure which guy, but that's what Hagerman's gonna do. He is literally going to open up, and he's going to read, this bid is from so-and-so. They are bidding X amount of dollars on this part of the project. They are bidding Y amount of dollars on this portion of the project, and down the line he goes. He's gonna then set that aside, give it to whoever takes care of that. He's gonna then open up the other one. So it's going to be him reading it that understands their forms, what their numbers are, and they will know. And when they open it, they also are making sure that they have everything that they're supposed to have right then and there. Because if they don't, if they've left something out, then I don't think that bid gets considered. Well, I don't know what was asked for. I'm not gonna.
It's pretty intense.
I mean, so my thought is this. I mean, if you make the motion and you all decide, okay, we don't have to come to this one will be an exception. Mike, you were already planning on being here. I might even come for a little bit just to see the process. But come, and that way you can see the process. And then I think that'll really give you guys a better idea of, okay, if we still feel like for some reason we need to really be a part of this and make it an official city council meeting, then you'll at least know what you're getting into. But you've really got to commit. So that means that if they come and say, okay, 7 weeks from now, we need a special meeting, and you all commit to a time and date, I need at least 4 of you all here, and it almost doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Like, I mean, I hate to be mean, but like, we don't care. Because see, when they do it, if Mike was gonna open it and he can't be there, well, then he can just have Chris open it. His coworker do it. So it doesn't stop the process like it would if we don't have a quorum. If we don't have, that's what I'm concerned about, is committing to a special meeting and having to commit to, I don't know how many we're gonna have over the time. But, that would be my thought is, you all were already gonna be here. Let's just make it to where it doesn't have to be a city council meeting. That way, if something were to happen, since we're only got 4, they can still move forward with opening it, but you all can be here and see the process and get a better idea and really see the flow of how they would normally do it without me opening or Brenda opening and then handing it to them and, all of that. I wasn't really planning on reading the bids because the municipal order technically says I've only got to open them. So I was just going to read the name, open, and hand it to him to deal with the numbers because
It's pretty intense.
It's different than the bids you've gotten before where basically it's kind of one number at the end.
So when I talked to Scott and Arthur briefly on that, was the fact that looking at this is a little different than before, to the point that we've had proposals from contractors and they list their subcontractors. Well, there's gonna be a lot of subcontractors.
Right.
There may be a singular, there may be 5 different contractors that are bidding on this that may use 5 different subcontractors for heating and air. And
Yeah,
what
possibly,
Arthur
I'm not sure.
was saying is they wanted to try to get the best deal on the heating and air subcontractor. Now,
Right.
So
that's why they're.
Are they planning on awarding a contract to subcontractors?
They will not be awarding anything. They will be taking all of those numbers, figuring out what they recommend, and then depending on the numbers, either Jose will be making it or you all as a council will be making it, however, but they do not award anything. They just make their recommendation based on, their experience and their, right?
That's why we hired a management
Because they're probably
contractor.
also gonna know, oh yeah, that subcontractor's subcontractor might be cheaper, but you know, we've dealt with them and man, we've had a lot of issues with their work, right, we don't know that, we have no idea. So, obviously, I think, I would think that you all would defer strongly to their recommendation, but at the end of the day, they don't award anything. That is still up to the
They
city.
make the recommendations to us.
That is still very much up to the city. But they are gonna be the ones that take all of that data, analyze it, and then kind of spit it back to you guys in a form that makes sense to, well, I'll just say me. If I was on the council, it makes sense to me, a layperson that's not a numbers person necessarily, and that doesn't do this every day. And they're gonna be able to explain it to me in a way that's a little bit more easily digestible than how their forms are.
So you're saying if nothing changes on the municipal order, we could have the meeting, you could open the bids, just open the bids, and, I don't know, say, you have to name the contractors,
I don't have to, but I probably would.
Whatever.
I just,
and now you hand it to Hagerman.
yes,
You don't read any numbers.
that's what I was planning on
The
doing.
council is going to get a copy of what all the, I say, general contractors, and they determine then which subcontractors they're gonna use. They'll break it down. We will receive copies of what Hagerman is going to analyze.
Yes,
And then Hagerman will present us with a proposal.
yes,
A recommendation.
yes.
And we don't have to change any municipal order.
Not if we do it that way, but what I'm saying is that twofold. One, I was just kind of, I don't like having a special council meeting knowing that I've only got 4 and knowing that if something happens, that we wouldn't be able to go forward with the bid process.
I mean, look at Jennifer tonight.
Right, that makes me extremely nervous.
So the point is, it's just for this one.
Just for
time,
this
and
one.
We're gonna make
But
this
what you,
exception.
but what you
But
said.
I am
But we're gonna look at future.
considering, because I don't know that that is gonna be the best necessarily flow. And so, we don't have to make any decision beyond this coming meeting. But that was because Mike, the other thing is, you're right, all that will flow. But they advertised, I don't know when they put this in the newspaper, but sometime in May, I guess. When that went in, before that went in the newspaper, we would have already had to commit to a special meeting. And here's the problem. You commit to the special meeting, but these guys asked for, when they saw the deadline and they got their packet of having to bid, they all caught up and said, oh my gosh, we need more time. So then they were able to just give more time. But if that were the case, we'd have to come back and go, okay, they need more time. Now when can we do a special meeting? Right? So, and which is not a big deal except for you've got to commit. You've got to commit to that meeting. Like, you've got to commit more to that meeting than a regular meeting almost. Because that will, it would be disastrous to have.
So when they advertised it and put the original May 30th cutoff date, if somebody called and said we need more time, what would have been the problem in, say, bumping it out to the next regular meeting?
Okay, so.
2 weeks.
Okay, so that becomes again, the delay. Again, she's saying.
It just causes a delay.
It's gonna keep causing delays. And the key in this, just for everybody here, this is very unique in the fact that we're building these kind of structures. This is not, again, this is not day-to-day stuff that you're talking about. It becomes a very intense professional part that we don't. And the fact that we have millions of dollars tied into this, we'll let the professionals do it. They're gonna come and tell us, because there's nobody up here, and that includes me, that's gonna know what they do.
How many of these bid packages do we anticipate having?
No, it's gonna be enormous.
I don't, he told me that it was he anticipated opening probably 80 envelopes. Now, I don't.
For this one?
Yes, just.
But how many of these bid processes?
Oh, well, I know we're gonna have at least one more for just the aquatic center, maybe 2. I know we're gonna have some for the park. This is what Scott and Arthur were telling me. So we're gonna do the park this way, we're gonna do town square this way, we're gonna do streetscape this way, we're gonna do the sewer project this way. Did I miss any projects?
Those are
So is there any way we would have to take any official action during these bid openings?
You don't.
You don't take
You don't. This
any
is all
action.
just for transparency, so everybody sees the
So
bidding process, both for the
that's-
public and the council.
That's the point. If we're doing them in public anyway.
That's that's the whole purpose of
and
having
you
like
don't need us
this.
for any official action, then I think it's counterproductive to have it as an official meeting.
Yeah.
Bonnie's been trying to hit that button for a while.
I know. So Bonnie, would you like to make a motion?
I want to make a motion that we make an exception
All right.
to the ordinance to go ahead and have.
Municipal order.
Municipal order to go ahead and have the opening of these bid packets without an official meeting. Is that worded good
Without,
enough?
yes, but the opening will still remain June 14th at 4
At 4 p.m.
Because that's
in
what
a
they want
public
to-
meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
All right?
And we will
13,
revisit.
13.
13,
Sorry,
excuse
thank you.
me.
June 13th, 4 p.m. It will be a public meeting, but it will not be a city council meeting, and you all are making an exception to the bid
And you,
opening.
and I'll just leave it, second, I need a second first.
I second it.
I got Brad for a second. So, yeah, let's get a roll call now.
So we'll have to, without removing the municipal order, we'll have to make this exception
Yes,
each
that's what I
time.
said.
Yes.
Either that, or we can, I'm just trying to do it for this, because we've got a
Yeah, we
meeting in
just,
3
yeah,
days.
and because, again, if we don't, it delays it another 2 weeks.
But my
At least
thought
11
is that once you, I really would encourage you guys to attend so you can see how it goes. And then at the next meeting or 2 meetings from now, we can discuss, do we want to somehow tweak the current municipal order so that maybe something like that doesn't have to be done at a city council meeting? Just a thought on the table, just
I
something.
think I need to have some conversation with Arthur about that.
And one of the
Figure
things,
out the threshold.
Okay.
one of the things, remember in all of this, we have a designated management contractor who's running all of this. That's the purpose of doing it this way, because of the intensity of what's gonna be involved in putting this all together. That's why it's not leaving us out. We're still involved with the process. We get to see the bids. We know it's all being done up and up. That's for both the public and the Senate council. But we need to let those folks take care of this, because that's what we've actually hired them for.
It might be better, Bonnie, instead of doing a dollar threshold, because I bet you on,
Yeah.
I bet
No,
a
I'm not
management
looking at
company you
dollar
could
threshold.
have.
That's why I wanna talk to Arthur.
Yeah, maybe it'd be better to just say, okay, if it's a management company that's gonna
That's
be
exactly right.
handling
That's
it,
what
we
I'm
do it
thinking.
that
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Because we're only gonna use those on big projects anyway.
All right, Ms. Brenda?
Faith,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and Jennifer is
Absent.
currently
Yeah,
absent.
I hope she's okay. All right. Thank
So
you, Ms.
I'm done for
Catherine.
now, I'm so sorry, but I do
Well,
want you all to
She
understand
got the
the
privilege of doing
process.
this last week.
And yeah, I would encourage you to, I'm gonna show up for a little while, just because I'm kinda interested to see.
I'll be here.
I'm trying,
Well, it sounds like
when they started scrolling through 10 pages of here's what's in the bid package, I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
so we're good.
And I would encourage, Bonnie's gonna go talk to Arthur, but also, all of you, please reach out and discuss the management contract piece. That was very much explained to us why we did that. Why we went through the process of interviewing 4 different contractors, all right, to pick them. That was the reason for it. All right? Thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, what do we have here next? No, we think.
Jennifer said she made it home okay and her blood pressure is 75.
Oh
Uh-oh.
gosh.
Oh, gosh. All right. Hope she's okay. Yeah. What's it? Nope. Right. Planning and zoning, we didn't have anything from Jeremy. This obviously what happened in the meeting. Board of Adjustments, I talked to Dwayne Price. Department meetings, Chief Lane, do you have anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right.
Hope everybody at the school plant.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Chief
Yeah,
Steve?
I'm gonna work on that arm.
Just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
just a couple things real quick. Thank you all for voting on the budget. I know there's still going back and forth, but you don't realize how much time and effort everybody puts into it, so thank you all for that. The other thing is, with the railroad crossing, it got fixed finally, up here on 44. I just want to do a shout out to Scott Fleming. He was doing a lot of work behind the scenes on his days off. We started making phone calls to him, and I talked to the mayor about these 2 signs that they've got up here is not gonna work. And Scott, there was a lot of other people too, from Transportation Department, CSX, there was little disagreements, but they finally got it worked out, mainly because of Scott Fleming's actions, and that's why it was almost seamless. We didn't have any really traffic problems at all.
I heard it was really good, yeah.
I just wanted to give him a shout out.
I feel like he should have to be here in person to get shout outs. I would just like to go on record.
I'm
and
sure
say
he's watching,
that.
I'm sure he's watching, he's watching.
So
He's
I
watching.
think he needs to be personally, physically present next time for a shout out,
All
okay,
right.
Chief?
So you're gonna have to call him next time you do a shout out for him, but thank you very much.
So just to let you know what a good job he did.
Yeah, and I want you to know that Tom had a very wonderful day at the dentist today, so I'm not sure how he's feeling, so. Yeah, that was a tough one, and, obviously Arthur and Scott have been working on some different things, but, a lot of work. I mean, I know you guys know that we're all putting in a lot of time in. We've got a lot of meetings, a lot of things for all these different projects. And there's a lot of intensity, and obviously, we're gonna have a good finished product when it comes to these different things we're doing in the city. So, just know that there's a lot of really trying to make sure we do it right, at the same time, keep everybody involved. Ms. Brenda, you got anything to add to this?
I did, and too much
All right,
time
we're gonna
can
give you,
happen.
hold on, all right, I'll just finish,
Made me
I got,
forget.
Brad, you got anything? All right, Faith?
No.
All right, Bonnie?
Yes,
Oh, come on, bring it on.
make it up for last time I did.
All right, what you got?
Okay, I have two. One is, I'm a member of the Animal Control Advisory Board for the state of Kentucky, and we'll be putting out soon a
Mike.
contest with the high school.
Sorry.
Do I need to repeat it, or do you think I was loud enough anyway? What they're gonna do is we're gonna be putting out a contest for, I'm not sure if middle school's included, but high school, to design the new, license plate. The license plate, that money raises money that helps to pay for, the dogs and cats to get fixed. What we do every year is we award money to each county or city that applies for it. If your county applies for it, your city can't apply for it, but we have them match money, and we donate this money from the plates to each of the counties that apply for it, so that you can get your pets spayed and neutered in your area to help cut down on the overrun of cats and dogs. And so, anyway, I will, Amber, I will let you know when the contest comes out and send you information so that you can advertise it around.
Cool.
But if you don't have one of those plates, which I'm waiting for the new one to come out, help support them by buying one of those plates, because the plate sales have gone down in the last few years, and so we're not giving out as much money as we would like. So, I just need some support for that. My other thing is on planning and zoning. I have a concern. We have Jeremy going and voting for stuff there. This last thing that came up, he voted for it, and he's representing us there.
I saw that.
And I feel like that sort of presents a problem for us, because as you saw how we've all reacted to this one planning and zoning, we're pretty much opposite of what Jeremy's recommending. And we need to find a way to balance that. I don't know how all that works with them, and how it works with him going there to vote for those things, but if he's voting for stuff that we're not even gonna be for, it's a contradiction for the city.
No, I don't have, no problem. I think what we just need to reach out to him and find out exactly, because I think part of this, listening to what he said tonight versus what was said in their planning and zoning, seems to be a little discrepancy, so.
There is some
And if
discrepancy,
it
but
is-
still, I felt like it wasn't looked at close enough without us even knowing that discrepancy. From what I saw with the planning and zoning rules and setbacks and everything, I still think that should have never been accepted.
That's fair.
I
And,
just wonder if they do the footwork like the council does, because we
Right.
don't talk to them and walk it off and
right,
look
so
at it.
I just have a major concern that it isn't being looked at good enough, and then it puts us in a bad spot, because somebody from our city said yes, and then it turns around and we're gonna say no. It's just not showing us cohesive.
I think in defense of him, obviously not here to defend himself. I think of everything that we've looked at so far, what he's done, he's been more engaged, he knows traffic.
Yes,
and he-
I
and
agree with
As a
that.
whole, to this one is very unique, so let's
Yes.
find out, I mean, if you wanna reach out to him, I'm gonna reach out to him, and let's find out exactly where the thought process and what happened in their conversations. Maybe a little bit of an extra for us to find out what happened. But I think it's a great comment, though, I have no problem with that.
No,
because-
nothing against him, I just felt like this one here really stood out, that not enough thought went into this.
No worries, we'll reach out to him, I know he's willing to listen to us.
That's all I have.
Bonnie, thank you. All right, Mike, would you like to add some words of wisdom?
What?
Would you like to add some words of wisdom?
Always. Everything I do is wise.
That's what we've heard.
So, no, I just want to make, like I said, I met with Tanya today, and she put you on the hook, so that's good.
All right.
When we were talking about some possible volunteers for the dump tank,
You volunteered again? Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much for volunteering.
No, I
Write
said
that down,
when-
Amber.
When we were discussing.
That's what I heard. I don't know what you guys heard. I heard it. Matter of fact, I see a jailer back there would love to be in the dunk tank. Man, I think it'd be awesome, Brian. It would be awesome. I'll even give $5. No, but this is, it's for a good cause. Actually, you weren't here for when we did, but
Mayor, if you do it, I'll do it.
I'm already in. Oh, he got him. I got him. Does he not know I did both times last year? Got him. I just hooked him. I got me. Write that one down. Brian Whitaker. Taylor's going to be in there. And thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And listen, we'll do it for about 30 minutes. Have fun. Get you a cold beer after that. All right.
Can't wear
Hey.
Speedos.
Yeah, come on now. We're going to let that slide. He's going to be in the dunk tank. I will say this, though. Hey, Brian, all the money we raised that night is actually going to start our funding for kids to be able to enjoy the outdoor pool for the aquatic center. Then we're going to start raising money for these kids that can't afford it. So you're doing it for a good cause, and we appreciate you doing that. Write that name down. 835, baby. Thank you, Brian. I like you. See, we hooked that one up real quick. Anybody else? Any more victims out there? We got Chief Lane. We got you. We got it all worked out.
Well, I'm going to mention another victim, if you call it. You know, when you're late for a meeting and you walk in and the business is already discussed, you may not know that you received a nomination for things, as Chief Smith did. You know, he come after the nomination was done.
Wow.
He came in the
Wow,
door.
Go check the video, I was here at 20 till 6, you were late, sir.
It's all good. We're going to figure it all out.
are killing
I liked it. No, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a great city fair, Bull Blast. I'm really excited about it.
No, we got a lot, you know, we got a lot of big projects coming. And,
Yep.
you know, on the one hand, I can see the validity in doing what we're doing. On the other hand, you can look at it as, now we have projects too big for our normal considerations. Yeah, everything has to be changed. And I very much like to be part of a decision or at least suggestion program instead of just being around at the end when it's pretty much already decided and here's the news, good, bad, or whatever. So that's my comment.
All right. Appreciate it, Mike. Miss Paula?
I have a couple things. The first thing is, when will the railing on the bridge be fixed?
That's State Department.
Is that the state?
Yeah.
Are they gonna fix, are they
well,
gonna fix it?
We spent money last year fixing those rails.
I know you did.
Yeah.
And then it broke the wreck. Okay.
It's scrap metal now, isn't it?
Call the State Department.
Okay. And the second thing is, we had our fundraiser June the 2nd, the pasta fundraiser, and it was excellent.
For who?
And we raised a
For
lot
who?
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mayor got a pie in his face, but I'm so proud to be a part of Shepherdsville and just the people coming out and helping and support. And we had so many people that don't do things in the community, and they came to this event, and they're excited about the changes. And I'm happy to be a part of everything going on.
I've got
So it was fun.
So, thank you. So, first of all, Joe, thank you for spending the money, and they ate the cake, and nobody died. I'm still happy about that a whole lot. I mean, I made the cake. I only baked 2 cakes my whole life. I had my supervisor watching me doing it, but it was a good event, and I did. I mean, if you go back and see some of the pictures, I mean, I got it twice, and so, but it was fun, and it was a good event. But I do need to do this because I've been texted by my 2 guys that do my podcast. They said, I need to do this, so I'm going to do this. It's not just me doing this. No, we have a podcast, and again, it's called Yes Way Jose. And the 2 guys said, I'm now doing it, Eli, Travis. It is something we're trying to do to get word out there for younger folks to get involved, be more engaged in our process, to be more of what's going on in the city. So we want every venue that we can tell you about things. I agree with Paula. You know, we had another gentleman here, Clayton, talking about what they're doing for veterans. I think that's awesome. We have the Sobriety Sisters that are an agency. We talked about. Mike and Karen went to a meeting today. I thought it was a great meeting by the Board of Health to talk about mental health. There's a lot of things going on with that, especially the infusion of drugs into that situation. So we know in our community, it's not just about these big projects, Mike. As we continue to grow, we have social issues that we got to keep addressing. So we're going to keep doing both of those things at the same time. And like I said, thank you all for being here. And council, I want to thank you again for the budget. And listen, for those people that go on vacation, see you, Brad. All right, no, I hope you have a great time. You gotta do some scuba diving, I don't do that, you always gotta give us this kind of wave. All right, with that said,
Hang on, I wanna give a shout out, actually.
give a shout out, he's not here.
Since apparently they don't have to be here in person. But no, I want to give a shout out to Ray Page and Jeff Gosser. They said all weekend at the, what was it called?
Cleanup day.
The cleanup.
Oh, yes.
And to make sure that it, ran smooth and people weren't leaving their stuff out of the dumpsters.
Yep.
And everybody else who helped organize and who was there. I mean, I know there was somebody there driving a bulldozer or whatever. So just a shout out because, people gave up their weekends for
No,
us
they
to
did.
do it.
Well, for
and,
people like me and Amber to go on vacation.
I utilized that service, so I appreciate it, and thanks to everyone who
You got rid of some
worked
stuff?
on it. I did.
I'm so proud of you. Willie, where's he at? He was here earlier. All right, anyway, first of all, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Paula, and then the second is Mike. Oh, no, I got Charlie. Charlie made a motion there, Mike. He's taking over. It's unofficial. All right.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Babe?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Paula?
Thank you all very much.
Who got the motion order?
That was a little long.
Paul, yeah.
I remember